I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, Natalie.
I was going, hey, what's going on here?
Well, good morning, everybody. All three commissioners are in and Miranda's here for right now, nobody else. Once again, if you're gonna get on Zoom, you have to be on video. So we'll go ahead and go right into board minutes for April 1st.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes for April 1st, 2025.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye. So we'll get the correspondence. The first one came in, it was here, but I put it into correspondence, and it's from, TCS, the elevator people, and they got a claim here that we should look at. And it's been approved by the Cromwell, Mr. Cromwell, but I thought I'd just put it in there so we could look it over, so we didn't have to wait another.
So what is it, another, what do you call it?
It's just paying them for some of the stuff they've already done. That's the way I read it.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, just a certificate for payment.
pay application.
But I just thought that way that, you know, we get it through right away.
Yeah. So if you wanted, she's doing claims right now, should that go in there then, do you think?
I think so. Let me run it in. The next one is appointment of planning board members. The town of Phillipsburg is appointing Lauren Robbins as a town representative to the county planning board. She will fill the seat formerly held by Mr. Jim Lockridge. And they had it in their first town council meeting. They've already approved it. They just gave us. The next one is Granite Justice Court, end of period disbursement. I don't know if you have to read all that. With instructions for service provider county designation forms. Attached forms allow county commissioners to designate a state approved substance use disorder treatment prevention provider to receive earmarked alcohol tax.
That's what I do.
Part of it.
Okay, so these are the same ones that we did last year, and we're keeping the same, because remember, we had to go,
Yeah.
there were people that wanted the money that were applying for us to change our mind and give the money to the other people. Remember, we were not here.
It wasn't here.
Almost, didn't that close. And so we had a couple of different meetings
Oh,
on, who we should pick to be, to give our money to,
I see.
because our share goes to whomever's on that list.
Public comment on correspondence. That's that book on the stuff that they check. He got a whole bunch of them and he's got more, so.
So it's what, in triplicate? Oh, duplicate.
Yeah.
So one would stay with the book and then one,
Yeah, the yellow one will stay in the book, in the vehicle or whatever, and
Yeah.
the white one will get turned in.
Yeah.
Then I'll get a quick one once coming.
Right, is there any public comment on correspondence? Being none, we'll go into a public comment on matters with commissioner's jurisdiction. If I don't forget.
oh, okay.
I talked to him about it yesterday again. He said, no problem, so. That's gotta get done.
Well, and I really want it at his convenience because
You can make it. You can
it'd
make
be
it work.
easier.
Yeah. There's some of these that you probably can't get, but at least you can get up to where you can turn around, then you
Yeah.
know what we're
Yeah.
talking, you know.
And I'll get one of those, books from, see if they still have them in the clerk and recorder's office, the Atlas.
They used to have a bunch of. Any public comment? Morning, Blaine.
Morning.
Morning, Blaine.
Good morning.
Mr. Bradshaw is just joining us.
Hello, morning. How's it going?
Mister.
That's a first. That's my dad.
Could you, I'm not quite understand, is that just saying our, that,
So you're thinking that there was an issue with the website, but there's not. I mean, I wouldn't access everything. So I think if you have like an outdated web browser, potentially,
Or your cell phone.
yeah, or cell phone. So I said, try a different web browser or come look on my computer because it's been working and I've been looking at it for the last several weeks.
Yeah, I've added some
And,
yesterday.
and also our plan is to get a new
Yeah.
website going,
Yeah.
so,
But there's no issues, right?
no.
Right, other than wanting it more user friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's definitely, it is cumbersome and hard. It's not as user friendly as it could be.
as long as we got a couple minutes, is that all right if I step into, Becky needs some stuff from me. That's it,
Okay.
it's in there this morning, to just sign something
Okay,
for that.
do you wanna take that one bill that,
I
Oh, you already
couldn't,
did?
she just said it's for my insurance or whatever.
well, you just go for it.
I'm gonna leave you in charge. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye. You know, yesterday when we were conversing on 369, and then where I read this, the section 5, the new section, and then I thought, go ahead and audit us. They aren't gonna find anything. I was kind of in a
Yeah.
panic at first, and then I went, come audit us.
You're
We haven't
we're
done
audited
anything
every
wrong.
year anyway. This would be a double audit. Is we haven't, yeah, that fiscal year 24 hasn't been.
Right.
Working on, or starting to start working on here, but so it'd be a double one, but yeah, there's nothing to hide.
And then he took the information from the 23 audit, so there you go.
Yeah,
Fitzpatrick did. Guess I
Yeah, it
can-
was like 67, 30 something, I think. There you go.
Yeah. 32 to 67.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize he had put the audit in until you told me, because that was just like a last minute deal. Also, when you have the second reading in the House floor, they can still amend it too, and then bring it back. So but it's dead right now. I mean, I'm not aware that.
So
it can
they
be brought
could
back.
still bring it back.
I'm not aware they can be,
There was so many that opposed it.
yeah.
It's not a good deal, Mr. Fitzpatrick. You're listening.
Well, work on the interim plan, taking care of it, and then grants to hopefully,
Yeah.
well, take care of, fix it. I think there'll be bill grants that come down the line, other grants.
I think, yeah, it's just right now, everything's shook up, stuff's gonna
Yeah.
start. You know, like BLM, I was talking to them, they got some stuff that they canceled, now they're gonna reopen for work for people, so I mean, I think it's just everybody got shell shocked.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to actually have to figure out what they're gonna do and who's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it.
You said BLM's gonna have some sales coming up? Yeah.
Yeah, they got some road stuff and then there's I know Andy Weaver got hired to do that Garnett Road to Cape Gulch Road. So that'd be good.
Good.
That's the one that goes
Yeah.
down that way, instead of going up
Yeah.
10 grade.
Cave Gulch, more people use it, right? than-
Well, they have to washed out on the other and I mean, we just don't have the money. I mean, it'd be thousands and thousands of dollars to
Yeah.
fix that. there's an alternative route, it's a little longer, and they're gonna make some lighthouse and stuff, it's a pretty big job.
This summer?
Starting there as soon as the snow gets out, there's still a couple of feet of snow up there, so. They got a few other things, I talked to them the other day, just. They were talking about going up Mulkey and up and over to Radler coming out is what a person told me, but I know they've been up there putting some stakes and stuff, maybe they are.
Is BLM gonna come in and update you guys?
I left Maria a message, I haven't heard back.
All right.
This is, I just talking to a guy, get some phone numbers, so he was kind of mentioning it.
Do you ever talk to Linda about Summit Cabin Road? Cause she actually thinks now that it's part of Rattler.
Oh.
Yeah, she thinks it's Rattler. But it's a case there, it's a public road.
Hey, who's this on? Go ahead, Elena, you have to be on video.
Good morning. My camera's still not working. Sorry.
What do we do?
But I just got a notice of an article that was in the Daily Montanan. Very interesting, I think I heard you talking about the legislature, and our House representative is being called out because he uses heavy-handed tactics to get people to go his way. Really interesting. He basically says if you don't show up, you're going to lose your grant or money, or we're not going to fund you. Same thing he did to Granite County back in February. And now he's being called out on it. So that's a good article. It's in the Daily Montanan yesterday. And really interesting. But anyway, I thought it was because I ran against him, lost, unfortunately. Thank you.
Blaine.
So it's a little different. I mean, we showed up and testified, but you're right, it's changing past practices without giving notice. He did it. So if you're gonna change your practices, give people notice. That's just the.
And I think that's the article on the arts thing where they
Yeah.
yeah.
They didn't show up and they didn't, and in the past, they hadn't had to testify is what they said.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
How's it going?
Not bad, you.
Getting glasses today? Getting
Oh,
old?
I can't see what. Yeah, you already go. Go age.
I got bifocal contacts now. They're like weighted, so we'll see. I gotta start wearing. Thanks to the county's
Pull
insurance.
your eyelid down.
And so that is down after.
That's just, Any other public comment?
So you guys got the phone calls for, what is it, Brown's Gulch Road?
Jeff Abbott? Yeah, we'll talk about it when, fuck yeah. Yeah, I just thought we'd wait till he's been here, cause I don't know if he talked to him or not. Okay.
So Brown's Gulch is the one that is petitioned to be county road, right?
Correct.
Yep.
It's always been considered one, and definitely one now under the petition resolution.
So is it county road now? Or is it
Yes.
still, okay,
Yeah, that's all done. So
okay,
Algonquin, Browns, Cliff, and Tower are all. The first part of Tower was petitioned already, but so all four in our petition and by resolution created as county roads.
are those my roads?
What's that?
Are those my roads?
Know your trails.
Yeah, the first part of Towers all right,
Yeah.
but yeah, gone very
And-
far up there.
Scott's been talking to you, okay, so we need to get together
But-
at your campground and show me the ropes.
Oh,
We can do that,
remember that hole up there too?
yeah.
Right.
Someone's asking for AI companion.
Something what?
So I don't know, but someone's asking to start AI companion on here.
I don't know what
So you
that
guys have said, that's the summary, that, the artificial intelligence summary, you guys said no to it, I think.
Yeah, no. No.
There's inaccuracies in it. I mean, it's fairly good, but it is inaccurate.
Any other public comment? A couple minutes and we'll move ahead. Now, we'll go ahead and move ahead. It's on a weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul, solid waste too. So go ahead, Paul.
We're just starting to blade roads, got, had enough good enough weather to get East Fork all done yesterday. And we started down on the Foster run. But now it's too wet, but later today, some of it should be absorbed in there good enough to keep going. Rock Creek's solid standing water, can't get moved in there.
On the lower end.
Yeah, but we'll get in there by there's no later tomorrow, for sure, unless we get another storm tonight.
Supposed to be hard tonight. What they're saying.
Oh, is it my phone that it was supposed to be? Who knows? It changes every 5 damn minutes.
I think it was supposed to be kind of nasty weather until Thursday, so I've seen.
Unless you were supposed to get some snow Saturday and Sunday. So it's just all hit and miss, whatever we can do as we go.
I see the blade of that on Rocker. This
Yeah.
morning when I came in.
Yeah, moved out there yesterday afternoon. Really won't quit in time, but. Yeah, that's just about all we're doing now. Starting some coal patching, got some done yesterday, but today, same problem, everything's full of water. So,
We put that ad in the paper, but Miranda called them, but they didn't get it in, so it'll be this week, it's in.
Yeah.
They did not, she did do what she's supposed to, and they did get it in, so.
Their,
Yeah,
their deadline is pretty,
and she did it
strict.
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on the other, Jeff Abbott called all three of us, I'd take it, and he, you know where he's talking about, and I mentioned it to you.
yeah, I mean, we did quite a bit up there a couple of years ago, right up on the top. What's going on with that road is, I'm not sure what he's talking about, I'll get a hold of him. But I didn't wanna call him until we had this meeting and see what you guys were thinking.
He's talking
Just
about
because he hasn't called me, so
Brown's Gulch or something else?
I believe he's talking
Yeah.
about the Stewart.
Stewart.
Okay,
Stewart?
all right,
Ridge, yeah.
Okay.
Stewart Ridge.
That's where I-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
Stewart.
yeah.
Does that hook into Brown's Gulch?
Yes.
It does,
Oh, okay.
he kinda lives in the spur of Brownsville.
Okay,
Yeah.
But what happens is that road gets so shitty and a few years ago got so bad that everybody just keeps going around everything until they're spread out. And they're always 40, 50 feet wide, so we went up to the whole bunch of shit in there and fixed one big problem with it. And I expect it probably just continue down the road, you know. But I'll go up and take a look at it, see, I'll get a hold of Jeff, see what's going on.
so can we kind of include that? Possibly if it's gonna be gravel, on our list?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we can-
definitely.
Yeah, we can put it on there, and then we're just gonna, like today, when we're talking about these days, we're just gonna kind of try to figure out, we can't just, I mean, we gotta let the guys know what to crush, we need to figure out. Just kind of estimate where we're gonna go on that, I mean, it's not gonna be stamped, but that's 1,000 yards for sure. But, you know, it's just so tough.
Always is.
All this gravel will be newly crushed. Everything,
Well, you gotta let the guys know, so, I mean,
Cause they got more people bidding and we go in
Yeah,
and take
yeah,
10,000
yeah,
yards
yeah.
out and then they're like.
You got lots of customers.
And it throws them in a bind. So
Yeah.
I understand that, I just,
Well, and that stuff up at that bog hole up at Stewart Road, I mean, it's been like that since I was a kid, and it's just
right,
solid mud there, so I mean, it's even worse putting gravel there or putting more like 2-inch minus or
We put-
like that?
We put, like 4-inch minus of that first. You know, to start with, when we did that, other piece and build it clear up. And then afterwards, gravel. If you just put gravel where you start with
Disappear.
shit, it never ends, you know.
And like where we're looking there at that multi-road we were having, there's a, yesterday when I was there, they have to really look, there's a great big chunk of cement that BLM put in for that old town, I remember years and years.
Yeah, I've
ago.
seen it.
It's true, so I just thought, you guys don't wanna hook that, and we'll have to dig it
We'll
out.
have to take it out. It's just what's left of a cattle garden.
They had
It's just the way
three
it
of
is.
them there.
But if you don't take the stuff on fix and put bigger material in first and do it right, we'll just have the same conversation next spring.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to avoid, I guess.
Well, it's gonna take a little bit, you know, the blade here and there, they have to jump around and get what they can, move back and forth, so it's whether. I know like in Dunkelberg Sunday, I went out there and it was dusty, and yesterday you couldn't hardly stay on the road, so it just. Talking
It's
to
just
people
spring.
about out there cutting some of them corners, and they said that we could take the dirt up to their place and put it somewhere, so then we don't have to haul it back and just, so.
That'll be good. We still gotta, you know, at some point wanna widen that road down there. And Willow Creek, or it gets narrow, like you're going down to Lucci, and then it gets awful skinny right there. But there's enough road there, we can, the fence is far enough back off the road. We're hoping to go about 10 feet of that off from the top and
Cut into it.
And I haven't talked to Tim yet, but I imagine one of them ranchers have a hole, like, throw the shield on, you know.
Just everything's slapped down, you know, this, all that rain, it just keeps getting further down.
It's not so bad in the summer, but in the winter, it's a real bear cat, cause it's basically turned into a super tight one-lane road. You meet somebody and they're backing up on ice, but
Anything on solid waste? You get the backhoe fixed? What did you say?
it's running, we got it going, and we'll just see, there's some deal on the wiring on it, won't keep running, but it's running now, so until it quits running again, you can't fix it if it's wrong, so, we have to just leave it alone, I don't know.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I have just a question to the commissioners and to the solid waste supervisor. We are getting ready to, moving Scott is getting ready to bill for overages for outside of granite disposal. And we are requesting that there be a minimum that he bills. So we have like 15 that are under $5 that you would be billing out. And we have 20 that would be like $5.40 bill wise. So requesting that at least the 15 we don't bill out because they're under a $5 minimum. By the time it,
Time and postage and all that.
yeah, we have, like, when we do taxes, we do have a $5 minimum for doing that. So I was just coming to approach to ask that
I'd go for that.
yeah,
I,
$5.40 would be like 20 people. $4.05 would be 15 people, so.
we need to make a motion on that, Brian.
Yeah, good.
Can supply the list.
I'll make a motion for solid waste overages. The minimum needs to be over 5. Is that how we want to put it? So if it's 540, then you'd bill.
What's it cost to read it? Send the bill.
Probably about 250 if you're going to spend it. If your motion wanted to include $5.50, that would allow us to not bill the $5.40.
That'd be good for that.
Do you want to do $5.50?
I just make it under $10.
That would include a lot more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any more or under 10?
That would put us at 26.
I think those people are gonna be back, and so so they'll be billed later on, delays the bill.
So you write it off and then start
Yeah.
over.
No, you keep it, right, you keep it on the books? Oh, you wouldn't? No. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the thing is that if it's a yearly type thing, and I would think that if they're 5 or under, then you'd be written off. So.
$5.50.
$5 bill will cost you $3. And
Yeah,
then,
you send it, an envelope is 71, probably 75 cents to send out, so that's, and then
yeah, I just stay with the $5.50.
okay. $5.50. I make a motion that any overages less than $5.50 be written off and bills not sent.
Second.
Public comment? Being none? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good stuff you saved. Right.
So
When they
yeah,
gonna start on the solid waste down there, the buildings and stuff, you
As
know?
soon as it quits this weather,
Okay.
yeah. Just don't want to get it all dug out, fill up with water, you know.
When?
Oh, I did get subpoenaed and testified in that Public Service Commission hearing that was here last week. So, Grizzly Disposal had, filed an application to be permitted to do roll-offs. And so, it was somewhat disputed by Republic, but I assume it's gonna go through, but, I mean, I just was talking about the contract we had in place. And in that meeting, those couple meetings we had with Republic, we kind of got into that, cause the one guy had said, yeah, we could talk about amendments, but then Ryan said, no, we'd have to open it back. If you asked about, Commissioner Adler asked about a 3-year contract instead of a 5 on the renewal. They're like, no, we'd have to do, have you guys do request for proposals. So there wasn't any type room to amend that. There's no competition. I just told him, I think there should be a free market.
Well, we're keeping it good.
Right.
Yeah,
Keep it competitive.
yeah. I don't know that pricing's totally out of control, but it'll competition will bring it down. I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if they want the business, they're gonna try to make it work.
Yeah.
And then they might gouge you later down the line.
So-
Oh, we forgot this.
Yeah.
deal.
So what it's setting up is 4 years down the line, the commission could put it out for, request for proposals and, yeah, have it's competition. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of contingencies there, but the Grizzly Disposal has a place to bring it.
Anything else on road and bridge and solid waste?
I got a quick question on that. Safety papers, you know, that we had on there, that we got last week to sign. Did you want the dump people to sign that as well?
Yes.
Even though it's 90%,
Yes.
those stuff just haven't been signed, I'm saying, that's what I figured, but.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
Yeah, we kind of threw it all in together being, yeah.
Well, that's how I read it, threw it all together, but I just wanna make sure that was
Yeah.
the intention, so. If you can burn me a couple extra copies, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I need to get you the,
they were all given the training policy to look over too, or,
We have,
yeah, we haven't done that yet.
oh, okay, all
we're
right.
trying to just get it and we're still working on some stuff and then when we, we'll have it ready when we get going.
Okay.
Does anybody know a young guy that's looking for some part-time work?
I can't find nobody to help me, so I'm
Right.
right. Oh, you got any time?
Doctor.
You're the youngest.
I'm not young.
for what, for the dump or?
No, for, you know, we could get a part-time guy to start patching and stuff. Even,
We still have the art, have it for somebody, with experience.
We talking about starting right away? Or-
Yeah.
I didn't know if there's any kids coming out of high school?
I don't know anybody in school, it doesn't seem like,
Oh,
I put some feelers out.
yeah,
Tonight.
I have an idea, I'll tell you after.
okay,
For them to work, they gotta be 18 probably, right, for the county?
What's that?
should only have to be 16, but I don't know that for a fact.
What is the policy for like young kids working, is it 18 or 16?
I thought it was 18 if they're, well, they're not really gonna be driving, well, they
They
never.
ain't gonna be driving, so,
Yeah, unless it's
I
that
can't remember
dangerous,
how that-
16 could do
Do you know, Barney?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the age limit that you can hire, like just to have somebody fill holes and, you know, like experience and
A
stuff?
laborer,
Yeah,
it. Yeah, I believe it's 16, I'll double check that.
Yeah,
Cause
I don't
they're
know.
not doing anything inherently, they just fell in the hole, no.
I'm sure it's 16, but if the law
Let's
changes,
see.
who would know?
I'll double check it.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you can find somebody 16 wanting to work anyway, so. All the ranch kids are working on their ranch,
yeah.
you know?
I couldn't find anyone last year, I had an ad out in the school up here for 3 months, I didn't get one call.
A friend of mine has a big farm up by Moses Lake. And he cannot get one white person to work. Yeah, he hires all Mexicans, can't get one kid out of school to come work. And then they complain about that, well. It's crazy.
Here's the general law in Montana, 16 and 17-year-olds can work in most occupations, but not in hazardous ones and have specific hour restrictions, including not working before 7 AM or after 7 PM. Filling a hole is not. If you got them like on alongside the interstate.
these big potholes, we're gonna get far behind after they did them so good, you know, last couple of years. Don't wanna lose our, they're starting to go already. Well, we'll move ahead into the gravel. Any other public comment on that? We'll move ahead into the gravel bids award based upon geographical need in the county, lowest cost analyst. This was just pretty much, we've gotta kind of figure out what we got, how each gravel pit, how much to crush, or just like this, say, go 75, 25, whatever, up to 15 or something.
Right,
Is,
just for an estimate deal.
Did you guys figure it out?
no, we thought we better talk about it. I didn't wanna bring up, you know, say nothing till we were here.
Cause you have more lower than upper.
Yep.
So you have,
So they say 75 down there, 25, and then the rest up here. We still got that, you know, out there more, all that.
Right,
Is that,
What are you thinking?
cause we're figuring what Terry will take care of from Mullen Road to Maxville.
yeah, this, so we can, you know, so they kind of have an idea what to crush to, you know. We just gotta let them know like down lower 75 there and 25, that's the 10 and 5 up, or split it up a little more.
Well, I mean, that's a good shot, you know, and then we just kind of work from there. You know,
so did you kind of get figured out where you weren't?
I lost my paper.
I don't know.
You guys, you're not supposed to lose things.
Dog ate it.
yeah, just.
Here, you can make a copy of this.
Here again.
I'll look up there next time.
So you figured material for Mullen to Maxville. So that would.
Or
Mullen,
even if we, you know, cause I mean, from Henderson,
where's
I
Maxville?
got mine, from Maxville down, I mean, we just gotta, we haven't done nothing down that, but, you know, so down the Drummond area, so like. The guy that got the gravel down there, maybe go 10 down there. And we were saying up to 15, so go 25 and 25, is that fair?
But I would do, and then there's still gonna be another. I know that's a separate deal, but there's still gonna be. Georgetown Lake. You know, we're gonna have to just figure that out one of these days, you know, and that's gonna be more for up here.
These are just ones that we promised and we haven't
Right.
done for a couple, 2, 3 years.
Over 10 down there and the other 5 up here, plus it's gonna be more than that up here because of the lake, you're still gonna wind up with being about 10 down there and 10 up here anyway, by the time they end the day.
So I do yardage at each, which, specify your motion yardage at each place, yeah, so it's noted in the motion. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd just entertain a motion for 10,000 down there, 25 in the middle and 25 up here for now. Then we get to the point, you might have to look into trying to get some more, like I said, once we break, get up to Georgetown.
Yeah, I'd see if they would allow that for under that other bid, I assume they would, because it says up to 50.
Everybody will get
Kinda
it,
like
everybody bids it up to 15,000 yards for that.
Okay, so we're doing what, 15?
Up to 50.
And so you're saying 100 down there and
10 down there and
10.
25 and 25. Or out here. That way the 3 bidders each get.
okay,
You okay with
so
that?
10,000
No, no.
yards, with Weaver, 10,000, or 2,500 with
how's
Terry
that
Hall,
add up to
2,500
15?
with Benson.
Okay, 10,
10 for
that's
Weaver,
10,000, right?
10,000 for Weaver. 25 for Terrell,
2,500.
and 2,500
Okay.
for Doug Benson.
I was thinking, how can you do 10 down there and 25 up here? I was doing 25,000.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, you want to
Okay.
break the pay?
So do 10 and then give each like Terrio and
Benson.
each 2,500?
Mhm.
Is that? And then if we need more,
We can get, we'll have, yeah, just,
Later on, you can do more for,
well, the thing about it,
We're
this
just gonna
town,
wind up.
the thing about this telling them this much, at least they're gonna have that array, so they're gonna overrun. Cause once they start crushing, at least they know right away that they can bill us for 2,500. And then if we need more, we can get more.
okay,
And then they might only use 7,500 out of Weaver's.
Yeah, cause some of that
More
down
at
there,
Terry
we might,
Hall's or.
cause we might change our mind on some
How
of
it
them down, it
goes.
might be better just try to dig it out of the ditches and lay some more back in.
Right.
It just tell this weather and see what we have for material, so.
It's just an estimate for them.
Yeah.
okay, works for me.
Well, on the
Saying
same
it don't
page,
use up to that much and we get on some of them other roads, I mean, hell, we could use,
Well,
even though we tell Benson, for example, we're gonna take 2,500 yards out of his. I might be in here saying, well, we need to take another couple piles. And that's just the way it goes. That way every year.
especially like with Stewart Road and that, person starts looking at this
Yeah.
stuff, we're gonna have to go and
Yeah.
find stuff. That's the problem, we got so much that.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff come off through the year, it's just.
There's gonna be
it's
more
the
and
same
more
way.
people call and want this, want that, it's just coming, so.
Okay, get it.
A motion to go 10, 25 and 25.
I'll second it.
Ugly comment.
I was thinking 25 again.
The big 25.
I was thinking a big
I was
25.
saying we could use it.
Being, no, all in favor?
Aye.
Or- Guess we can call and let them know, or you wanna call and let them know?
Oh,
I'd send him a letter too.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some.
no.
So
And they can bill it, be done.
would you do the 25 plus, or would you just say at 25?
At least then they can bill for the 25 and then when we get more, and every one of the bids were up to 15,000. So they all know that that price stands for, and I'll make sure that it's understood.
Could put in the letter that may be more ordered here in the coming
Yeah.
months, something like that. Okay.
Because that way they can bill for their 2,500 or whatever, and like I say, I'd be in here and say, we need another 1,000 from this guy or whatever.
Some of them roads, we're gonna, once a couple of them roads you're gonna look at, we don't wanna go 500 feet and then just stop. If there's
Yeah,
another
right,
1,000, yeah,
right.
so.
And not go back next year. Right.
Yeah,
Finish a few of these more now than just putting a little bit like we did in Henderson for 3 years, it's chunks,
Right.
now, all that.
Yeah.
And I did get a roller in it. Well, I told him the 1st of May. Just cause if you don't get it locked down, you can't get it. So that'll be coming the 1st of May, but we can't just put all this material down and then not have a good roller
Yeah.
or what, so.
Randy, anything else? On to the dam report. Thanks.
Yep.
She'll get them letters, and you might call them too, in case they,
I'll call them all today.
but she'll get the letters out to them.
I'll get those equipment ones, I still gotta get all those just for, truck and stuff, but there's a bunch of other boxes, cause I somehow double ordered the truck stuff instead of getting my equipment ones, so.
Well, it'll go. Surprising how fast it'll go though.
Right.
You know, and we'll put one in every truck, but always.
Yeah, we don't want,
Dash.
we don't want to put, they spill a couple out in one thing, cause we're gonna try to keep everything separate, we gotta do our paperwork too, so.
No, yeah, I say we'll just leave one in each truck.
Yeah.
I think there's always one in there.
Pickups and whatnot.
Yeah,
Then I'll get the equipment ones, hopefully they'll be here next week,
Okay,
and then I'll bring all the rest of the boxes in, and Scott was saying maybe just split them up between the two shops.
yeah, we can do that, and put it behind Miranda's chair.
He already said no.
Remember me this.
There you
I'm
go.
trying to get rid.
I'll just burn the copies.
I have to go to the Hall House today and I could bring you those PPE policies.
I'll just throw
Then-
them on the desk if you would.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have to leave
Perfect.
for there around, right after this.
so they all got their letters then?
The letters
The
and the
original letters?
PPE, yes, but not the safety.
Except for solid waste, they didn't get a letter
Right, you did, yeah, we didn't have enough,
Yeah.
but if you drop me a
Okay.
couple off, then I'll bring them all
or,
signed.
and they all signed it and then you'll bring it back, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll put it in our files.
yeah,
We're
How
gonna
many-
start keeping tabs on what we do too, like that,
Yeah.
Mark, that way we're gonna
No.
cover everybody.
you
Right,
need the documentation, it just,
Yeah, I'll bring that next Tuesday.
How many more do you need?
I just need 2,
2, okay,
yeah.
Okay. bring
Um,
them down today.
yeah, I need 3, and I'll make that Jeff sign one too.
Okay. That'd be good.
Just anybody that even part-time, whatever, we need to make sure that they understand from now on what's going on, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Sounds good.
okay, thanks.
Thanks, see you later.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, so the lake's at 6428.85, we're at 7.8, we gained some more. And at 20 CL, so we're gaining, just looking and seeing the outcasts and that, I think I'd stay at 20 right now.
What's an outcast?
Just the weather and that,
I thought that was a forecast.
outcast, cause it's not today.
He's making up his own words, that's fine, that's what everyone does.
I will go home.
I guess down the line, see what's gonna happen with this and we can, we're still weekly, but
Oh, Paul Talon sent me a note, saying the USGS was showing 22, he was trying to get it adjusted to 20, so he just tapped it back to make sure it's at 20.
well, that thing, it's the way now, yeah, it'll be fine. It's
It's
just,
it's a,
they know it.
not exact
But pretty
size.
soon all that ice gets off there,
Yeah.
then the wind's gonna take a bunch off the
Yeah.
top too. It's gonna go right to the sky.
yeah,
That's my opinion. Well, I haven't heard much from nobody. Saying this, that they don't want us all of a sudden dump 40 on them and blow their ditches out, cause some guys are putting in new stuff.
new head gates and stuff like that right now, blow water down.
It'd be easier, let a little out, a little more, and then start soaking up stuff, and them banks are sucking it up fast. I couldn't believe coming up and see where,
Yeah,
but anyway, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll motion to keep it at 20 that we're at.
I'll second that.
Public comment? I don't see Fish and Game or nobody on today.
Also Brad Lerman had a email saying that, he didn't have an issue with outflows matching inflows still.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't see that. Cause they were saying they're gonna try to be on every week, just so in case something that we needed.
Yeah, it's, something did come up. It
Yeah.
was another, permit.
Inspection.
I'm saying, I'm not bitching, but it's just this time of year, so this is when it's gonna get scary. Cause you know, if it all of a sudden we, you know, Silver Lake will start thawing some more, pushing and. I wanna make sure that we're gonna be ready to handle it.
So when was it last year when it was filling and you were almost in trouble when it was kind of going on the spillway? Do you remember?
That was a couple years ago.
Last year?
Last year we played it good last year.
Yeah, it was
Year
like
before
2
that.
years and,
They went over it.
yeah.
Well, then we wanted to see what was gonna happen on that spillway, and thank God we let it go,
Yeah.
because all the nuisance had pulled all the seals out, and
Oh, really?
so they had to go
But,
back and redo everything.
When it was going over the spillway, it did upset the homeowner, saying it was damaging the other end of the lake, erosion.
They want it full, but yet they don't.
It's fine, that's not miracle workers.
No.
Don't build the high water mark.
Yeah.
All in favor?
I,
Carried pass.
come on up.
Your next one?
Well,
This one here's on the East Phillipsburg Youth Athletics Club cleanup project requesting county assistance with Linda Graham.
Okay, well, anyway, what I wanna do is.
Are you Linda Graham?
Yeah. Kind of messy down there, where our cans are. And
Where what
do
is
you know where our can drop is for the kids for cans for kids?
QIC.
Yeah.
on the other side of the hill? No.
Yeah, around on the School Hill Road,
So,
and it's
right.
kind of attached to that county building then.
That old barn
Yeah.
thing?
Oh.
Yeah. They put cans down there and they pick them up and cash them in for the,
So anyway, it's kind of messy. And what happens is, the Forest Service comes and takes the cans to bid for us. And then the PYC gets a check from the Pacific Steel every few times a year. So, what we'd like to do is, the fence is really bad. It's not even quite 4 feet tall and kind of slumping over, so there's a lot of times if the wind blows too bad, you gotta go clean up and whatnot, but I kind of talked with Gary Lambert and I was hoping that we could, the PYC wants to put a chain link fence with a 4-foot gate and a 6-foot fence, so people can just throw their stuff over and it's easy to get the cans out. And, maybe put some gravel down there, where the road is a little bit, where it goes in there where people go throw it and where it actually would be thrown, you know, gate gravel where the, inside the fence as well. So, and then we'll update our sign a little bit. And I was hoping that the county, maybe road crew could help us with the gravel,
Help with what?
the gravel part of the, you know, where we're gonna we wanna put some more gravel right where the fence is and right on that end of the building. So it's like what we're kind of using is about 24 or 30 feet off the corner of the east side of that building on the school roads. And then, that's really about it.
With some of them millings we have stored up, I think we have a couple of that would put that down as a base maybe and.
Yeah, it's pretty muddy right there where you pull off the,
It can get muddy. That's where the sandbags are, like.
there where that sand pile is, that little shed right there.
And that's not in our, it's not, we wouldn't be getting in that. Look at that.
I mean, I don't care, I guess get a hold of Paul, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I don't.
Yeah, I'm
I know
fine
where
with
it
it.
is, but-
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I mean, if we use millings, or I mean, it'd probably only be like a dump truck load of gravel maybe, I mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they could spread it there right along the right there and then
Yeah.
try to squish it down.
We can bring a loader down or something.
I don't care.
Well, if that's okay, I just was visiting with Mr. Alt
Oh,
up here. And I told him what I was gonna ask you. And he sounded like it would be okay, but, if you want, I could kind of coordinate with them so we could be sure our cans and fence and everything are out of the way and then they could do the gravelly part and then we could get the fence.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Fine.
You guys
You know what?
okay with that?
you know where you want them and that, yeah, I just make a motion. to get
And
them.
he can decide how much gravel needs to be there and,
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Not bad.
Not none of this.
Do you want the millings put down or is that?
I was just throwing that out,
Yeah, yeah.
who knows if it's that deep, I just,
Yeah.
if guy put
It's not
something in
bad
there
right
and
now.
put something over it.
So,
It's not a super deep hole or anything.
no, it's not a deep
muddy.
hole at all, and there's a road that turns off and then keeps going and
Yeah.
comes out, but there,
Right on that
and there is
line.
a house there on the other side, kinda right behind the football field, and probably be nice for them, because I feel like they go clean up a lot, pick up cans and stuff and throw them in there. So I don't want them to.
Yeah, it's-
That's fine with me.
And we make a little money off it, you know, and it works out really good for the baseball and the summer programs.
So you want her to just get hold of.
Yeah, okay, we make a motion that we help the Phillipsburg Youth Athletic Club's cleanup project with gravel from the county.
Not the whole road.
Right.
And it's on, this is,
that right
and it's on county property, right?
Yeah, it's
It's on
Yeah, it's Granite County
Okay,
property,
yeah, it's
yeah.
Granite, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put that in the motion.
I'll second that one.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor? Yeah, if you just get hold of the phone, get it lined out, cause it, like now it's a little bit slow, then we'll be
Yeah.
up here next day or so.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can use gravel or millings and whatever falls.
Yeah, I'll just leave that up to you. All right, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending PBS and things.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Thanks.
I love her.
I just don't know,
Huh?
I have no one.
She was my deputy for about 5
Are
years.
they, they're doing baseball and stuff?
Yeah.
They do the hockey too, or the,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I know it's baseball and are they doing anything for this? Are they helping with the skate park going out there too? Or no, I don't know. I think it kind of help out with like kids and
Yeah,
basketball shoes and stuff like that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
When you look at the, last year's level and this year's level, it's right close to the same right now.
The water.
The water, yeah.
'Cause I
This
think-
year it's 8.4 and last year it was 0.86, so they had 2 last year, just a little above what this year is, so.
Well, I think some of that snow up there, like in Peterson, with this rain, we're getting half rain, half snow, so it's getting the moisture up there too, the way I understood.
Yeah.
Seems like.
I don't know, I thought it was last year that little bit of scare and they were all
The
panicking.
wind blew it over. Remember,
Oh,
I
that's
went up
right,
and looked at
okay.
the- When we hit the 40, 50 mile an hour wind, yeah, it blew it over, it hit and splashing going over, and they were thinking that we had it, yeah.
Oh, going back to the dam stuff, did you ever figure out signs?
You got what?
Signs?
Shields, I know the other lady, we finally gave.
Right, we move forward, I just didn't.
Cause we got already booked today.
What's that?
Yeah, cause you'll be asking today, huh?
Yeah.
I'll call Jackie and ask her.
Someone in Missoula?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I can't remember what. Forgot about him, I do.
You back
If we get our sign yet. She just got back last night.
Oh,
She
she's
was on
probably
there.
sleeping then.
Sleeping.
I just woke her up, she's gonna come.
She'll tell me if I did. We can get some breakfast.
There are donuts in the break room, you guys see them?
Who brought donuts?
Are they good?
I had a maple bar, Ashley announced it, I'm gonna, did Ashley?
Yeah,
mention
she
it?
got one.
Yeah, okay.
Something else, another weird word?
Oh, clementine,
Clementine.
so the little orange,
Oranges.
What is it?
Oh, the mini oranges?
yeah,
I thought they were just small oranges, or tangerines.
so,
Multiple words.
yeah. Genetically modified tangerine.
Yeah.
Vincent's gravel thing called,
348. Gravel.
and then Terrios is just Terrios.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
know that
Weaver.
one.
And he has two. Yeah.
So did you ever hear why, what's his face? Out here, didn't come in and put Tommy Mazza? Didn't put a bid in?
I don't think they knew.
They
He was
didn't,
here that morning.
Yeah.
they didn't know.
Betty wrote me later that day asking about gravel bids and to put on some notice list, and I said, well, I'll try to email you, but it's in the paper, and that's,
It's up to
So
them.
he didn't see it in the paper then,
so. mm-mm.
But he knows.
They just
we do.
yeah, he knows, he knows to look.
Yeah, it's odd.
I mean, you can't use that as an excuse. That's his business. Is that good? Is that a good maple bar?
Probably the last one, chocolate bar or maple?
Is it fresh?
Yeah, they're fresh,
Where'd they get them from?
I assume
Don't
down
want
there,
chocolate.
yeah. I don't know where Huffman gets them.
Not Bakery in Butte.
Yeah, Huffman's make them or get them.
No, they get them from somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And the common, there's a bakery at Deer Lodge, but I'm not sure where they get them.
Yeah, I don't know.
You would have got up earlier, you could have made that. Don't make some stuff. No.
I'm not very successful on my donuts.
Yeah, donuts are
For some
quite
reason.
tough.
They just don't turn out.
He's waiting to get the info from Paul on the signs. They were gonna get together and she was gone on vacation, so she'll get with Paul. She is on the phone with Scott Gunderson, got it with me. I'm going, what's he talking
Who
about?
did? Good, it's new.
Gosh, not much, help yourself.
Well, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I had Duke in my bracket and they let me down.
Houston let me know.
Yeah, man.
Alright.
I think Eric tried.
It was trash, like,
Hello.
8 rounds ago, so. He
He
was like,
lost out.
but then he of course had to sit in the chair and cheer against me last night. It's like every time Houston would do something good, he'd be like, God, can you just be quiet and watch the game? Like, oh.
Can't believe you see.
Yeah, they blew that, man, that sharp.
Yeah, it
Couldn't handle the
wasn't like,
ball
it
and
wasn't like Florida won, Houston lost it.
pulled a Duke.
Yeah, it was pretty.
So I never pick Houston, they always let you down, like last like
Yeah.
8 years,
Yeah,
my team.
yeah, they
And
have,
they
yeah.
never make it.
Well, here's how genius I am. I did 2 brackets and on both brackets I picked Houston to win.
You gotta shake it up. Well, the one player was out of bounds where he touched the ball, I mean, like,
All right, we'll go into grant application proposal for public health focus on community level mental health prevention, intervention, case standards.
Hey,
Hey,
Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
State your name and stuff.
Yeah, I'm Kayla Sanders and I am
board treasurer secretary of the Healthy Granite County Network. I have with me Jen. Go ahead.
I'm Jen Grimm and I'm the board chair of the Healthy Granite County Network.
And we're here today. Did you guys get our information sheet here? Basically, this grant is a pilot program through the state, and they're working to create local coalitions to work on mental and behavioral health in their own communities, which, as you all know, we've been doing for the past 7 years anyway, and we're a local coalition, so we thought this grant would be perfect. Our role would be that we would administer, run the grant. It is a state grant that needs to go through the counties or tribes. So that's why we're asking that the commissioners approve it to be a pass-through grant through public health. We've talked with Deb about it, Deb Robinson, and she agrees. As you all know, she doesn't have the staff or capacity to do any of the administering of it herself. So we would do all that. The money would mostly be used to hire a prevention coordinator to work locally and basically just continue the mental health work and prevention work that we've already started.
Like other people to help with mental stuff or a secretary?
So this would actually be, we're hoping it would actually be Jen.
Yeah.
So somebody already licensed in behavioral health. She's a licensed clinical professional counselor. To continue the private practitioners that are already coming in and the practitioners we're currently working with to continue that work, as well as create some more trainings locally, work with the schools, continue to work on prevention and resource coordination.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, workshops, small groups. I mean, really taking a look at that CMA, what the county's needs are, and then really trying to drive and facilitate that prevention piece. Yeah, so.
This would just be Granite County, wouldn't you want to be teaming up with like Anaconda or anyone, or is there a possibility?
It's just Granite County, but we really would like to begin to network, and reach out to the tri-counties, right? Like, and that's just mostly in terms of like that resource coordination, right? So making sure that like, oh, hey, we know of someone who's in Anaconda, like they can help us or whatever, we can kind of start to build those network connections and really kind of beef up what we have in this community.
And the cool thing about this grant, how it was built, is the Montana Public Health Institute is actually part of the technical assistance for this program. So they're going to choose 8 other awardees, and then we will have meetings with those other awardees and see what the other counties are doing across the state, which is cool. Like, we'll work together instead of reinventing the wheel. So the part of what you're talking about, it's actually collaborative across the whole state, not just.
Okay, well, the reason I say that is 'cause back in the day, we had a joint resolution with Anaconda for like a joint mental health local advisory committee, but then it seemed like the grant funding dried up and that dried up, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a letter of support from the commissioners?
So we typed up a letter of support, but you guys obviously make
Yeah.
changes. That's all we would need from you guys is a letter of support today. And then just to be the pass-through, and then I'm assuming Scott as the chairperson would be the signature if we are awarded the funds to just sign the agreement when it comes through.
And you guys will take care of everything. My biggest concern we got with Beth and now, they're so, we're shorthanded. We'll be there too. We just keep piling stuff on them. I don't.
Yeah, this is just a pass through and they handle it.
Yeah,
It
so
has to go
everything-
through- Yeah,
Everything would be taken care of, and I can do, if we were to get this, like, whatever you want in terms of recording back, like, however you guys want that, like, I'm more than happy to meet you wherever you're at, so,
I guess that was my biggest
Yeah,
concern.
no,
I didn't
it's-
want to know more on what.
yeah, that's fair.
they're the grunts, right?
Yep,
How does this pay you then you get this, how much you getting?
It is actually 250,000 over 2 years, so 125,000 a year. 25% of it will go to Montana Public Health Institute as the TA consultant. And so the $125,000, the majority of it, we were planning on spending on the salary and then within the county on trainings and various things like that.
That'd be one first, well, if you break it down, so it'd be
It'd be just
five,
fine.
6,000 a month for somebody.
Do you just, on this 2-year deal then, you just keep rolling with it until you're out of money or?
So how they do it is they actually have it set up so that when you complete a task in the grant application, so when we hire, the person will get paid. So it'll come in chunks of money, as we complete what we said we were gonna
Yeah,
do.
kind of like turn receipts in the show.
Yeah.
And then get reimbursed type deal.
Mhm.
And then the idea is really truly is for it to be sustainable, right? So during these 2 years, like part of this position is going to be either finding grants, fundraising, like making sure that this isn't something that then, once the grant is gone, like it disappears, right? Like that's something I think we're both incredibly committed to is starting something and then making sure that we're maintaining that consistency and that sustainability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have to match none of this, this is just a total grant, so you don't.
Yeah, no match, it's just.
Is this basically the same grant that you guys had a couple of years ago when they're a public health deal?
No, the grant we had a couple years ago was actually a federal grant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually through HRSA out of the, out of federal grant. So, this is state level. And that one was through Intermountain Healthcare out of Salt Lake City. So they were actually the administrators of the grant.
Okay.
And we did great work with that grant. We touched like 30% of the county and we feel like we did a really good job with that grant. But looking back on that, what Jen is talking about, how building for sustainability, we, I would say didn't do the best job of building for sustainability throughout that. And I think part of that was that it wasn't us locally actually running it.
It was out of Salt Lake.
Yeah, so,
So this
This
would
is
be
a little better.
something to keep you guys kind of rolling, keep
Yep,
getting
yep.
businesses more, you're not
Yeah.
going out hiring a bunch just cause you get the grant.
No.
You know how I am.
definitely not.
I do, I feel
Straight
you.
out. Go and get a grant, making something for somebody, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and it's
Yeah.
like, now what do we do with
For
it?
sure.
Yeah,
I think the
Yeah.
exciting thing about this too, being a state grant, is we have a real opportunity in the county to be kind of drivers behind like healthier communities, right? So the fact that we could potentially be one of 10 and we're meeting as a state with these 10 awardees, like that's pretty cool to get like our name out there and saying like, hey, we have been doing this good work. We're gonna continue doing this good work and we're gonna try to keep it going into the future for our communities, you know?
one of the reasons.
Show up to the
this
meeting, right?
Yeah, show, if there's a
Yeah.
committee meeting, go
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
Well, I really think if you guys can get into the tri-county deal too, that's gonna help with the sustainability. Like you're saying,
For sure, for sure.
help each other out, and if they're overloaded there, so, you know.
Yeah, we've already started making those connections and networks, just seeing that. And my philosophy, like my personal philosophy is like, there's a lot that we could do in the tri-counties rather than like going to Missoula County or, you know, Silver Bow. If we just could have one, and really honestly, it takes one person facilitating that coordination, that organization, and really just like marketing and getting that information out there, right? Oftentimes that's just kind of a lapse. And so, yeah, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think Deb has something to say. Go ahead, Deb.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, we fully support them, and I think they're right. It's just gonna enhance the services that they have brought. I'm at a conference and I have a session on this pass-through grant, so that will be good for me to listen to.
I forgot to tell you, so you gotta be on video from now on when we have people come on, we're trying to get everybody so we know who we're actually.
There we go.
Thank you.
There you are.
My bad, I forgot to say it.
In my hotel room. Yeah, I think it will be a good,
Nope, we lost you. We lost you, Deb.
I think it will be a good partnership for all of us.
Go ahead, Elena, video.
Her video camera doesn't work.
I know, but I'm saying it every time just so she don't.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano. I have a question. I think I heard someone say that the money isn't coming from federal grants, it's coming from the state. So, and I asked for a list of the grants. That's not up. So where is the state getting the money from?
Where's the grant coming from?
Yeah, where's, I believe Debbie, it was said that the money isn't coming from the federal, but it's coming from the state. Where is the state getting the money from?
That was actually from me, Elena, this is Kayla, and it's actually coming from the Department of Health and Human Services, the Montana Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Division. And beyond that, I am not quite sure where the state got the funding other than that.
Okay, because I think the state also gets the money from, this is Governor Gianforte's baby, and I think he's getting it from some health department. Where I looked it up and I saw it, so I just wanted confirmation. So the state is getting it from somewhere, one of our other budgets. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have a comment, Jackie? I don't know if she was, I see it blink now and then, so I don't know, maybe it was re-blinking. Is there any other public comment on this?
We haven't even made a motion yet.
No. I just seen their hand. So I guess I'd entertain a motion.
A motion to accept the, I guess how you wanna put this, Wayne, accept the letter for the grant? Or,
Be a letter of support for the, this is.
yeah,
I'll second it.
Any more public comment? In favor?
I,
So this is the letter, and when does it go out? Okay.
you.
Yeah, it's
Today.
if we could, just because the state had given a deadline, and then when we met with the Public Health Institute, they said the quicker you get it in, they were
Yeah.
just like approving on. And so we felt like if we could get it in today, okay.
So you have the letter that we need to sign, or do you
Yes,
just,
one
you just
person.
sign it? Okay, just the chairman.
I thought we'll get a copy so we have it for our records too.
Yeah, I can. Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully manifest that, yeah.
Yeah.
Scott,
Somebody else
Get
has
it.
a comment.
Oh,
I'll
no, sorry.
make a
Go ahead, Elena.
Thanks, Mike.
Sorry, Judge.
Thank you. Just for the record, I found it and quote, Governor Gianforte signed off on a landmark package to fund the Behavioral Health Systems for Future Generations Commission at the end of the last session. And it will take, it's 2 years, it's up to $1 million, and it's a combination of state dollars and federal matches. So just clarification on that. So that's where the money's coming from, and it's a good job if you get it. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. Have the rest of the day. I know, sorry.
Send you an email because I need like your email.
Your lucky day.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All awards, dinner. What was that, Jen?
It's your lucky day.
Huh?
I won a bunch of the awards, actually. It's gonna be great.
How come you didn't bring and give me some?
I will.
Are you bringing cookies
Everybody
tonight?
wants, but nobody wants to
Monster
do it.
cookies one last time? Monster cookies one last time?
No. I'm bringing chips.
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Every day.
Bye.
I was just more worried about, you know, getting at it, they're trying to make, remember that one time we were setting these jobs with people and then it fell through and then they try to come back and we're trying to figure out how we can keep from doing this. That's the only thing I get worried about. It's,
Did that once with the conservation folks. Did that ever go continue on?
no, but remember, we did something else too, that I'm trying to remember. That's the only thing I worry about, trying to make a job, if it's them keeping it to themselves and going, and you don't know how that.
Oh, I guess I was gonna, cause then the last time when they had that federal grant, wasn't Kayla working in the courthouse here downstairs? I guess I was gonna ask them if
Yeah.
they need that.
They got their own place now, cause we did the room, especially when we started, we had to kind of more or less.
Oh, okay.
Kick them out.
The elevator is so
Not
long.
kick 'em out.
Right,
We just, and then that's why Jackie and Deb are down there.
okay,
And then they moved over there, we just had to have that, cause then the judge moved over to the other, and it was just, we ran out of room. We needed to keep it
Yeah.
for our own people, but
so they won't be out of the courthouse again this summer, they got their own place down.
Yeah.
Down.
it's just better.
Yeah, old Conoco, right? Rent.
Did Ashley weren't on? I guess I missed her. There's a little hand.
That's me.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
it.
Do that every week.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I try to put it over there.
And then Deb will be part of it too, I guess.
Well, see, that's what I'm worried. I
She
just
just
don't
kinda
want to
helped it
fall
out.
back in. Deb says, oh, you know, I just don't want to fall back in there and then all of a sudden the sea start, you know, and then I don't want no more going, I guess, straight out. We can't put no more on Johnny. Holy cow.
No, and this
We're gonna
wasn't-
go if we keep
yeah.
monkeying around. So, we got a few minutes before the letter of support for town of Phillipsburg. This is that same stuff that we went after, they just needed a letter, they gave us one, we need to give them one. And I had Miranda sign my name by Blaine, so just, I didn't have to run up, I was down the other side, so. You know, okay. They're gonna get some of that through, they had to fill out all that stuff, same thing as she did all last week, trying to get that in. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, good job.
Hopefully we get something out of it.
There's a lot of work.
I guess what's the time frame for Heron,
No,
what's awarded?
I don't
thought
know,
they
and
said
she
2
was-
weeks, I thought it was like in 2 weeks.
And she said she'd let us know if, you know, if we're in the wrong category or something, they're gonna
But-
work with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
final say that's,
But-
that's a long
yeah.
way.
Final
Oh,
say,
okay.
I mean, it'd be a year before we saw the
Yeah.
money if we got it.
Right.
But it's,
It was worth applying.
yeah,
She's getting a hold of, Jackie's getting a hold of the guy with the signs and get them in place. Got the stuff from Paul. Right, well, I guess we can move ahead here to the next letter of support for town of Phillipsburg for the congressionally directed spending project. They're putting in as a water project, the Fred Bird, some of them, I think, right?
Fred Bird,
I say it right.
Yeah,
Water line?
mhm.
the county inspired them to act, well, maybe they already.
And we already, gave them the letter, they had to have it by last week there, so, and like I said, Miranda signed my name by Blaine Bradshaw, just so they could get it in right away, otherwise it would, they're gonna be like us, and then just abandoned. So,
Yeah, it was really
thank you.
appreciative.
Thanks, Blaine.
Yeah, go on.
I don't see, you know, in a lot of them, I don't see a problem in that, how, you know, I mean, a lot of times I'm a couple hours out or something, you know, where I have, especially on the last second minute thing.
Well, this is the thing, is everybody's doing it at the last minute and you have to scramble to try to get it done.
Well, they held it for so long, you know, they should
Yeah,
have
we
it
did-
out
Yeah.
quicker so we could actually have time to sit down and sit.
Yeah, 2 weeks wasn't enough.
I'd do them, even though it's after the fact, I'd do a motion to approve the letter of support.
I'll make a motion that we approve the letter in support for the town of Phillipsburg request for congressional funding for fiscal year 2026.
I'll second.
Public comment? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
Didn't give us a lot of time on that.
No, I mean, that, you know, and the worst thing is where we've never done it, it's so different from that, you know, one little mess of it, she said, they go,
Right.
can't do that. So then it comes back and got started all over, cause it has to be,
Yeah, I have to do the applications twice, but yeah,
Well,
they didn't get rid of my work though, thank God, so
Oh.
copy and pasted into a whole, I had to use a whole new web browser, there was some
and
server.
I was calling them asking, what about this, what about that? I'll just wait.
but they had some type of issue with the formatting of it, or,
It was, I don't know if it was just bogged down.
oh,
on-
bogged down.
On Friday, because everyone's doing,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone's doing submit.
Yeah,
So I just put it. in
Submit,
the web browser.
submit.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, I just kept trying.
shows you were one of them, one of a
Yeah,
million.
just keep doing
Yeah, cause I had it ready and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. Nope, redo it, but I got it.
Miranda did great, Great West got back.
Oh, thank you for all your
Justin,
guys' help.
yeah.
Who'd you have to deal with there?
Jeremiah was gone,
Justin.
Justin
Oh,
did a good job.
Everett?
that Justin Weaver?
Everett?
No, it was, yeah, Justin Everett.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great.
Sure, Jonathan's still working for him, isn't he? Yeah.
Let him know, Blanche, I just call him when you want, if you feel, you know, nice day, just so you don't just get in the fall and go for a ride.
Yeah,
Don't, I just call him and that, 'cause that's,
okay.
I just, yeah.
Yeah, because it keeps getting on the back burner.
Another week, and now it's just,
Did you forget to bring it up?
oh yeah.
No, he did.
Oh, you didn't bring it up?
Sticky note.
And I kind of did too.
Well, I think it's supposed to be 70 on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
It's snow, rain the weekend, I think, or something like
But
that.
that way at least you know what, where and what's going on. Did you guys get the renewal one filled out and done?
They're here on the blood draw day. They did it
Oh,
for
yeah, I was
us.
in the doctor in there yet already. Huh, guess I better figure that out.
Yeah.
I gotta send her an email. Stuff.
They sent me a new card, cause the card's expired, won't work on that HSA.
Yeah.
And they said they sent it in January. Was it coming by turtle?
Well, I don't know.
Express turtle.
I don't know. I don't know, you know.
That was gonna kill me one day. This about happened to me.
I had mine stashed
Yeah,
too.
well, even-
That's what I did. And
I
then
gotta do it.
should probably put that in my wall.
I guess I'll have to get with them. Wonder when they're coming back. Or how do you just sign it and send it or?
You gotta do it with Peter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I could have her.
Mm,
Or you can call,
Did
or
you
you
get
can call if
everything
you,
squared away with them?
No, we're still. That's why I was wondering if that card was coming on the turtle.
you could call them though to get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody call, what was her?
Joanne,
Joanne.
Yeah.
Joanne, her number?
Yeah.
I've got her, I think, a picture of her card here and see, text.
I
They got one in the pickup somewhere from last week.
got all the paperwork if you want it. There was a Vera too, Vera Peterson.
Yeah. Oops.
Derek come in for this,
Awesome. We can.
You find that number?
Yeah, it's just text.
Oh, you, okay, thanks. We need to find me a secretary. Yeah, laugh, laugh, laugh. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Well, we're a few minutes early, but we'll go ahead into the Granite County DUI Task Force current financial report operating plan. Was he gonna explain what the unit was? It's pretty much.
It's yeah, it's just required by law. I think everything's in order. So yeah, I think a motion to approve it.
We have it here.
So the budget, is it a report or is it the budget?
Well, it's showing the budget on the
It's just
back.
showing that. 'Cause it's-
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
don't think you have to, you're not approving a budget going forward. I think
No.
it's just, yeah, just showing you what's going, update.
Just giving us what he spent and where
Yeah.
and that's what left, and then kind of just an update, so then when we.
yeah, financial
Oh.
report.
But I think it is approving the operating plan.
For the DUI task force, that they bring in every now and then.
Yeah, but maybe it's not, that was the operating plan with it?
What's that?
The operating plan wasn't with it, it was just.
That's
the
all
detail.
that was in that email.
This is for like the task force that was here over like Christmas time, right, or? Where Montana Highway Patrol came in for.
Yeah, we have,
On Yule night,
we have,
task force going on.
yeah, yeah, we have, patrols, but the task force hasn't paid for DUI patrols, just extra, overtime for the deputies.
Okay,
We
Yeah.
do like, the education, we do the designated driver gift cards, when the deputies see someone designated driver, they give a gift card.
Yeah, that's all that was in the email, this budget report. And the
I
letter.
guess you could prove the budget report as being true and
I
accurate.
don't know if it proved it, but I mean, it's just showing
Yeah.
us spending and what we've
Yeah.
been doing, I would just.
Yeah, it just shows
Yeah.
what their balance and
What they spent.
what they
Yeah.
spent, and they're looking good. They're,
Cause I think sometimes we ask him, you know, he'll say, well, we can take something out of this DUI or something, so I think he's just kind of giving us an update, the way I.
Yeah,
take it.
there is an operating plan that he has you approve of this.
how does that money come in?
We get monies from the catering license fees.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right, okay.
and then reinstatement fees, but don't, that portion, but I don't get a whole lot of that. Mainly those, that catering fees and.
So is there a revenue line item in the general fund then, probably, for the DUI task force?
I'm sure there is, cause they took stuff out, you know, and they're getting some kind of.
Yeah.
Or something, remember?
Yeah, this has kind of been
there's a
ongoing.
number under the general fund,
What's that?
you say you're looking for the number?
So when you see this 1,000, that's the
Right.
general fund.
And
And
then
then
the
that
42.
is the DUI task
Yeah.
force. And then it shows the salaries and stuff, so mainly salaries for the deputies, and then there's a supply item and education.
Right,
item.
so then the budget, this item here is a budget
Yeah,
for
this
each
is
town, and then
Yeah, this is the
what they
appropriation.
spent and
Yeah.
how much is left,
Yeah.
right? If I'm reading that right.
How many more days of legislature?
It's coming down to it, I think.
We don't have to worry about any more bills coming up.
Yeah, there's been more horrible bills and. They still haven't reduced property taxes, that should have been the day one, that should have been the goal, I think. What do I know?
A lot of senators ran on that this year.
Let's see,
I guess we just entertain a motion on the DUI task force current plan, just give us an operating plan.
no, yeah, this isn't the
This is
operating
just
plan,
a
so I don't know
report.
what you need to. You can accept the report received or whatever, but yeah.
I'll motion to accept the financial report from the DUI task force.
I will second it.
Public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Oops, they've got a mistake here on this letter.
What?
Have me as chairperson.
Yeah, all of them are like that. Jeremiah
Change it.
used the old.
I think if we don't change them, they won't accept them, because remember, we went through that before.
So how would you do that then?
I just redo the letter and just put a chairperson.
Yeah.
You can copy
Yeah,
and
it
paste
worked.
on the, yeah, Jeremiah sent me the. they were
Yeah,
already
yeah,
done.
I just amended it.
Cause remember they last, you kept getting it and then Chuck.
Yeah.
We had to change all that. How many of them is there?
I think there's 5, I'm pretty sure there's 5.
Yeah, I just put, you can change them for this, there he is.
5 LOTs.
Goes on. Good, you.
Good.
What do you know?
Been busy. Yeah, it's busy, the jail.
We got some new inmates in the Hilton.
Yeah. One of them, I guess we might get rid of 2 more this week, we'll see.
We went over that, looked at it, that's just kinda giving us an update, like, yeah.
It's required by statute.
Yeah,
Like a quarterly update or something? Annual, every April. Oh, annual. Yeah, well, that's why, I don't know, there's not really much to discuss.
yeah.
We did get a bunch of new members, 4, I think, total, in the DUI task force.
So I see we keep getting stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we got a licensed addiction counselor and a preventative specialist.
Yeah, good.
There'll be some pretty good assets. It's not just, I think the last 2 DUIs we've had have been drugs, so. Drug screening's not just booze, that's not all we're looking for, so. Meth, fentanyl, and 1 marijuana one, I think was patrol, but. You guys are doing some pretty good work as far
Yeah.
as just drugs go too, so.
Meth one Friday.
One thing I see is pretty good out of this deal is like there's a safety barrier coming up in April. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. I don't think the DUI task force per se got necessarily too involved, but there's gonna be a bunch of different booths at the schools for the safety fair that, I know like Debbie Weber, she's the SRO, and one of the dispatchers are gonna have a booth there and talk to the kids about texting and driving and just a whole array of stuff that I think
Oh, I have a booth.
pretty good stuff that comes out of all of this.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a booth?
Yeah.
We got, like,
Come.
have a booth on, don't break the law.
Don't break the law, end up in prison or jail.
Imagine they're doing their like health fair at both schools, I think.
Yeah.
I went to that one last year, it's pretty down there, there was a lot of booths, I was about, I couldn't believe all the stuff that you
Yeah, pretty good, I think,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Very interesting, some of the people you start talking to, and
I know that the group of folks that we work with on this would be all behind, you know, that kind of stuff, so. We're mentioning education, not just for the youth, but that's, seems to be what we focus on a lot, so, yeah. They ran the report, all, they know that anyways.
good. What else you know? You ever get rid of that damn car?
No. I agree with Paul, it'd be nice to be able to trade them in when we update or whatever, but. I'm gonna have to go to a different dealer to start doing it and then find a new place to outfit all the equipment in.
There
Because
must be
the cars are
another,
worth something.
might be another opportunity though to.
Nobody bid on it.
Yeah.
If we put it out for minimum bid, which that's up to you guys, you know, somebody might bid $200 on it and it's worth more than that.
Well, it's probably worth more to, but to us, it's not.
Well, the fire departments didn't want it, the town didn't want it.
I just put them in just to get it out of sight, out of mind, just whatever somebody bid on it. Maybe they'd have another one they could fix it, but good for them.
Well,
We got blown turbo, right? 2 of those.
what was the minimum bid there? Was there one before?
Yeah, what do we do?
15 or 3.
35?
We did a minimum of 3.
So
Yeah.
could have it on the agenda again just to do for.
Just get rid of it, just so it's out of your head.
Just do it for bid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do you wanna put a $500 minimum on it or no?
I wouldn't, cause we're just gonna keep wasting money on the paper advertising and
So,
I just put it whatever somebody wants. That's just me.
Yeah, I put it in the paper a couple times. 'Cause
well, does our social media account, does that count? I mean, if I send it out on, there's a lot of people looking at our Facebook posts.
Mhm.
I can
can send the information out on our Facebook post and then the
Put
big
it on the
exciting
county
website.
website, yeah,
Is that?
and the county website,
I think
yeah.
so, yeah, I think we
yeah.
did that last time. I just sent you the newspaper notice. And you guys put it on.
But since it's already been in the paper, no one bid on it, yeah, it's fine to do.
Yeah. Oh, you know, things are going pretty good.
We need to do a motion on that.
Put
Put on the agenda.
yeah, I put it on the agenda,
So we'll send it out yet to after you guys.
Yeah.
Hold on that. What else do you guys have going on today?
Some interviews and just work.
Oh, that's a 4-letter.
it is 4 letters.
It sounds.
Sounds like it sounds like
Yeah, look at it.
That's what we're going over for an hour?
Huh?
That's what we're going over for the hour? All that?
There'll be our
What are you guys interviewing for?
janitor.
Yeah.
Oh, we, okay, let's pull the deputies we had trying to hire from them. I think we're gonna pull the trigger on somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience, cause we weren't able to, we had a couple of experience ones apply and.
That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, just with Paul, and I'm just trying to figure out what, we're trying to find any, maybe even a part-time kid coming to school, to help fill in big fence, fill in potholes. Just somebody.
Yeah, well, young, you can train them up, I guess, the way you want.
Well, Montana's good as far as in general, how they treat from officers statewide, but nationwide, they're pretty much for law enforcement too.
That's too bad, yeah. Not being,
I think it's on the uptick, I hope, a little bit, but
got a whole bunch of mayors and cities that don't support their officers, in my opinion.
that's true.
When in New York City, they take just a massive amount of guys just quit, didn't they? Like a couple, in the last year or so.
And then you get a bunch of George Floyd protests and everything.
All that stuff, everyone just
Well,
walked off.
They had those officers assaulted by illegal immigrants and then, the judge just basically OR'd them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why,
I think we're gonna select one, we send them to additional testing and we'll see how it goes.
How's your dispatching your full?
They're saying, the best we ever had. Boy, they are on the account.
They're nice when you call them, they're respectful, and
Yeah, we
they're
got pretty
cool.
Well, you got a
yeah,
good,
they're good.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't see you get that additional slot out here.
No, they do a good job when you call them, well, getting lots of calls and learning, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill's got a little weight. I'm watching him. I called him Connor and said, hey, it's going up the mountain. Got to the top quick and died. Never snow on it the day before. It burned right up to the top of the mountain.
Kind of the subject of May 15th, National Law Enforcement Memorial Day. And Bill's are gonna host the state one for Montana that day. We're gonna come from Drummond up to Key, we're gonna do a.
Is that what you sent me on the thing, Ron? But then I hit it, raised to something that you invited us to.
Probably.
How come we received that already?
It'll be I don't know if needs the right word ceremony at the gym, but you call the names of all the officers that have lost their lives in the line of duty. We're gonna go through it just a lot. It's a somber thing, I know. Yeah, I've been trying to organize that too, so I'm like herding cats.
All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and move ahead into the interlocal agreement between the MTDOJ and the county.
Every day.
Thanks, Scott, good
Yeah,
job.
Scott.
The motor vehicle system discussion decision. Go ahead.
So this is a lot different than years prior.
years prior, we've signed agreements with them stating that, we will have this service here in the county. But this one, as you may have seen, outlines the, responsibilities provided by the motor vehicle department for the state to the county without any cost. And then the reverse, what the county will provide to the state at no cost. What the state will provide to the county is 5 bullet points, where what the county will provide to the state is about 2.5 pages long. And includes all costs. So now we are responsible for all equipment, all paper, all toner, all postage supplies.
Why would we be responsible if it goes through the department?
So, there is no statute requiring that, but basically, they can pull the service then if you don't go along with it.
But if
So-
we're doing all the work, shouldn't we get it, so
I-
they get it?
We
I,
currently do not receive any funds from the state besides reimbursement on postage. When there's a sponsored plate for, the 209 that you can select from that are not the standardized plates that have 46 on them. We receive $5 per plate on those when somebody switches over to those. Currently, that is the only money retained, so we have a wash on our postage. We can save a little bit with the LLCs if we are mailing multiples for LLCs, so we can maybe get an extra $1 or $2 that way.
Is there a special, like whatever you put in a computer not to do this, that we have to pay for, just to keep it up? You know what?
yeah, there's computers designated for, right, the terminal.
Well, we used to be that the computers we did motor vehicle transactions on were owned by the state.
That's what it is.
And they were on a state switch, on a state server, everything. Now with this conversion, everything was transitioned to the county. So we now own all equipment. And they have no responsibilities. We are also responsible for IT. So any IT support that we need for our computers, we also pay for that.
The way the state does it.
Yeah.
Use their leverage.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say no and then you lose
Yeah,
lose
it's
the
something that
service.
Oh,
you're
you're
pretty
just
much stuck, yeah.
We're stuck with it.
So I just wanna kind of give you an idea too of what this cost looks like. And this obviously would not be a yearly cost. We don't replace computers every year or anything like that, but I think we're on a 3-year schedule. That sound right?
Something-
For
something
computer
like that, yeah.
replacement?
I
It's usually what happens, their IT will look at them and replace them as we go, where before the computers for the licensing was replaced by the state on their schedule, and now we will have to put the bill for the computers that need recycled from the county. So there will be an added increase in,
So we're looking at
expenses.
$1,200 for the computer itself, $100 for a monitor. Our scanner that is required for this program is $990 for a scanner. The printers, I worked with 360 to find us one that could handle the amount that we use, and we can get one for around $369. We have tokens that are specific for this program for $90. Microsoft Office, $305. The paper toner envelopes, we had to kind of figure out an average because you don't know exactly how many you mail out every year, but we decided to do about a quarter of what we process a year. So that's $8,065 for those products. Plus your employees' training time. IT service is only $45 per year for an annual fee per computer. This year, for 2023, we processed 37,518 transactions. For 2024, we did 41,516 transactions. So about 4,000 difference. In number of transactions. But what I wanna say is that as of right now, the MCTA is asking any counties that are able to not sign this agreement to not sign it. And the reason is they wanna have a meeting to negotiate the terms of this.
Try to get something out of them.
Sticking together to try
Yeah.
to leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cost is probably about 11 grand then to get set up on our own. Total.
Yeah, I fought with the state trying to get an additional motor vehicle computer even because of the number of transactions that we process. So that would be the cost that I just kind of gave you would probably be about 11 to 12,000 to initiate with a new motor vehicle
For
computer.
the startup. deal.
Yes, yearly
That's your budget.
expenses.
Yeah.
$12,000.
So is there a license on the software?
That is part of the memorandum is that the state will provide access to this system,
Okay,
which is now cloud-based
So you,
versus program-based in the computer.
so you do all the work, and then you have somebody over there getting paid after what you send over to them. You do all the work, you just have somebody over there.
State, that's
Way
the
it
state
is.
brainchild.
So as of right now, it's our taxpayers.
Getting a letter.
Our taxpayers are paying essentially to have this service in the county, but we're not receiving any funds back from the state for this. And there is a bill right now changing, or trying to change, revise the motor vehicle fees even. So now we're also in our entitlement monies, most likely going to be receiving less in entitlement monies.
Wow.
So our president of the MCTA is trying to get a meeting with, the head of the DOJ to discuss all of this, but there's currently 56 counties, right? And I know of 3, I think, that have signed this agreement because they felt that they were too small to make a difference. They're, process 2,000 transactions a year.
So if you don't do it, we lose having that stuff here, but yet the state still would have to pick it up and do it. You just would have to get on,
You'd have to go to Butte or somewhere, right?
right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, go to somewhere where it has, I like the idea of, holding out and see if we can negotiate.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at, was that, yeah.
well, Scott, I can see holding out, but I can't see just
Giving it up.
dumping,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but somebody would pick it
Yeah.
up. It's a convenience of our taxpayers to have it here so they don't have to drive to Butte or Helena, right? And that's my hitman thing.
Correct, yes, and that is something that
No,
was
I
brought
don't-
up when we just,
I just wanna make sure, just in case something blew up,
You
that
could-
at least they have an option.
People could do it by mail too, right? But that's a
yeah.
colossal pain.
So there's, like, I will say this, in this transition, one of the things that has been alleviated from our office a little bit is the state print and mail service. Where before we would do online renewals, we would do the transaction through our office and, do the printing, do the mailing through our office. That has changed through e-services now, so now when you go online and you wanna do your renewal, and it's a simple renewal, and there's nothing you have to change, it will be done by the state. So that's one thing that has been a little bit of a
Streamlined.
deviation from our office, but with that, there are still transactions that we have to do that are online.
When do you have to have this? Or when they're gonna just have it in, or what?
I get
Is there a time
reminders
limit
at
on
least
this?
twice a week.
Huh?
I get reminders at least twice a week to sign this. But
If you're gonna sit down and negotiate with them, you think there'd be a meeting so we could have it and approve it on it, in case it came up that you don't have to wait.
I assume it's that meeting is hopefully gonna be within the next month that they get on
yeah,
it. And get it worked
So-
out, it doesn't get worked
I just don't
out.
want, I'm like, you know, after what you said, I just don't wanna wait too long, and all of a sudden now we're back to the.
Well, and then here's the thing too, look what happened with the assessor's office.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The Department of Revenue took it over and then they pulled it right out
Yeah.
of Granite County.
Never
They
give
just
a
don't know
head
what's
up.
gonna happen.
Never give a head up, remember, they
Yeah.
just start
Yeah.
moving like.
They could come to it.
And that was the
anytime they chose.
conversation that Blaine and I had too, is the talk of the privatization that other states have moved to with this. I do really foresee this happening in the next 15 to 20 years.
the states do the same thing with like the prison system, I mean. Not many people are going to prison and they just rotate them through and they get revoked and they're sitting in county jails, and Missoula County Jail's full, Butte. So it's basically the state pushing it down onto the counties is my.
So, Blaine, so if they have this negotiation meeting, which is gonna, you know, you'll be the one there. Do we give her that, if she thinks it's a good deal, or that's the only thing, that she could just accept it there, then wait, you know, just so we don't wait till the last minute and then we lose out, or? You see what I'm trying to say is that.
Giving her,
Authority.
power to negotiate on your behalf.
Is that something, Blanche? You understand?
I would not want to be the point person. I would be the point person, but I would not want to be the final say on this. This
No.
needs to be a commissioners.
And I think you'd have to go with the majority anyway,
We would, unless,
or dump it.
and we don't want to do that to
No.
our taxpayers.
No,
Okay, so the commission could do that then, you could do a motion to go with the majority of the counties on the.
so yes,
negotiation.
in other words, not sign it until there is some negotiation. And then go with the majority, because the majority's gonna sign it, they're just,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a little bit of benefit from the state. But it's pretty much the state
Yeah,
does the talking and you can do it, or that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's just one more reason, I think, honestly, to have the county option tax. It really is. I mean, our taxpayers are essentially, footing the bill.
Yeah.
In the amount of over $12,000 a year, and there's, I'm sorry, one LLC that's doing 5,000 plus transactions a year in our county.
And that, the only thing is the county electors do not understand at all. They think it's gonna cost them some money, and that's why it went down.
yeah, could go back to the.
We could
voters.
try to go
Yeah.
back and try to do it again.
I think you should.
Yeah.
With more education. if
With
we
more
can.
education.
Yeah.
So they realize that no one buys $100,000 vehicle except for, and then they're luxury cars and taxed on luxury
The
cars.
average normal Grand County residents not ever
It just,
see
it
one of those
was so
cars.
sad that people didn't understand
Mhm.
what was going on.
I mean, and even if we wanted to present it differently and make it a county-wide and lower the amount even still, or the other county that we kind of, have similarities to, they can pay for this type of burden, this $12,000 a year roughly burden in 3 months, and they do half of the transactions that we
Yeah.
do.
Do you have a primary June of 2026?
Yeah.
You can do a special one, but I don't know.
Well, and then
that.
this is something
Primary.
new too with your new program. The state's dumping the cost onto us. We have to do the computers and the expenses are the counties.
And that's what I was like.
Yeah.
that's-
So if
frustrates
people
me, they're
understood,
Getting a hell of a benefit,
Yeah.
we're doing all the work.
yeah, we're doing all the work and the state reaps the benefit of it.
Yeah, and that's why, why they can't pay some, at least split it. I mean, come on.
Well, now they're not even gonna.
Right, there is
give
a
us
three,
supplies
Gotta
or
be
anything.
some, yeah, some
they
little
do
bit.
cut us
give or
a
take.
small check every year. I think ours last year was like $220, and it's just, I don't know what their calculations are for that. There's another county that just got theirs, and they're much larger, and they get $400. But, the writing was on the wall a year ago when we, had the initial memorandum in February of 2024, where they said that this was transitioning. We're giving you these computers. And then you'll be responsible thereafter. So it's just this memorandum there was no before the launch. There was no heads up before the launch of this.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, here's your new program that you just learned. Here's the memorandum.
Yep.
And the interlocal agreement.
No, just. We'll negotiate, no, we can get something out of it, if not, I mean, we don't have much choice, but. I don't want to take it, but, take it off the table.
Question, do you know how many counties have not signed it yet?
I only know for sure of 3 that have signed it.
That have signed it?
That have, yes.
So the others hold out and.
Yeah.
One just told
Or
us
some
yesterday that she
negotiating.
signed it.
The smaller rural counties.
One is, what is he? Treasure County?
What is
Yeah.
it?
No, sorry, Stillwater County. His commissioners told him that he needed to sign
That's,
it.
still, yeah,
Eastern.
yeah.
The one that from yesterday, I
Big
can't
one.
recall what county she was from, but I don't think that it was a large county.
Yeah, I guess we're just going now, Ralph, I'm just going to the.
And if I hear anything, I'll come in and just do an update on what the meeting has looked like and what the negotiations look like, but I think that the county's gonna most likely have to have this as a line item in the budget going forward. So that there's some transparency there, that this is how
Yeah.
much we have to.
And one thing that the computers is in the general fund, is in the county building fund. So the computers that rotate out, there's a line item in the county building where they wouldn't have to go into the treasury to replace the computers that the department, yeah.
So then it would just be.
So it'd be your supplies and stuff that you'd have to increase your budget for, your paper and your stuff.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah,
The
but like,
specific, the funds.
like any hardware,
Yeah.
we do have the line item in the county building.
Should we
Never ends.
make 2 separate motions then, one for this and then another one for, re-looking at the tax?
I think the option tax need to be an agenda item down below.
Yeah.
You do the one on the, moving to negotiate with the, Department of Revenue and, going with the majority of the counties are willing to do.
Yeah, and a little bit, yeah, it might even work this time because say the state's dumping it on us to cover it and people understand that they wouldn't be paying on this option tax because of the luxury of it.
Yeah, it was
bring-
vehicles over, what was it?
Well, our initial was vehicles over 90.
100,000
Yeah.
or something.
It's like 100 and some thousand.
There might be-
110,000 or something.
So, but yeah, that'd be a future.
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah, it would
We
be,
got till 26.
Yeah, I'd probably, I mean, you could do a special election, but yeah, primary 26 would work.
I already motioned to accept. I can't remember if you motioned or not.
Okay, so the memorandum of understanding, we're going to table until what?
Negotiate, see.
Yeah.
Until, for negotiations.
Yeah,
So there isn't any decision being made right now, correct?
well, to negotiate with them, I think that's a decision.
Oh,
So,
Well, we're
yeah,
just moving ahead, trying to get a little more
moving,
info.
yeah,
like you're
so I think
saying.
that was a motion to negotiate with them.
I'll make a motion to move ahead on the memorandum of understanding, for more negotiations before signing.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Infrastructure, you're probably $15,000 on your budget. You know, it's gonna
But-
come, there's gonna be other stuff that's gonna add up.
Yeah.
15 grand.
But the startup will hopefully be the ongoing.
Right, so startup will be the expensive
Yeah,
one, and after that,
There's gonna be expense,
As
so.
long as they don't start changing every year, cause they got
new program.
something. I mean,
They
we-
just spent millions and millions of dollars on this program. I hope not.
Then you'll have to go to Butte to get your 46 license plates.
Yeah,
Thank you. I will keep you in the know.
thanks.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks to donuts too.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no,
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, long time no see.
Might as well come up there.
Thanks for the help.
Good.
Look at Tan, where you been, Hawaii?
Actually, went to the Grand Cayman Islands. so
Oh.
yeah.
On the county's dime, that's good.
Yeah, I've got.
I had to take over Scott.
I haven't even got to say nothing. Yeah.
Didn't even need to, no. Blaine's got you covered, so.
Hey, before we get going, have you heard any more on the bridge deal? I got asked that the other day. I wanted to go where they hit the car.
Yes. I don't think it's on the agenda.
No,
But we
not this
have.
one.
It's coming up.
I'll talk, yeah. Oh,
Draft is ready to go, so, I had sent it over, so,
maybe, yeah, with everything else, trying to get that other crap done.
yeah, pending any comments that you guys may have on that, we're ready to go get bids on it, so. It should be, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be gone.
No. I was still thinking of Grand Cayman Islands.
I'll put it on the agenda for next week and try to get moving with weather, see what we can do.
Okay.
Well, I don't see our first buddy on there yet.
Yet.
I don't know that we have a third call.
Oh, really?
Well, it says quarterly first
That's
call.
what my,
I was thinking they were, I thought he said last time they were gonna be talking to us, cause
Did he said what?
that he was gonna be talking to us, I thought. He don't think they were gonna be on.
Oh, just sign the letters then.
yeah, which I just remade those.
Yeah.
It was old letterhead with the old commissioner, so I just read it on.
Okay.
Oh, it's same letters, just the actual,
Yep,
these got
same
signed.
Yeah, we had, when did we meet with, I think it was
Month
ago?
Months ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it just a month ago we talked to him on the
Yeah, it
phone?
wasn't
This
very
could be-
long.
Couple of months. Other than January. It's like my first day.
February
Was it
25th.
two?
Oh,
I think you have two here since you've been on.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first one, that was long.
Yeah, February 24th.
I didn't know anything what was going on. There's so many acronyms.
Yeah. Yeah, they like acronyms.
Yeah. It's like, first day. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I have a whole list of other things for you on acronyms if you.
Those other things are on next week?
Yeah, it's down stuff, great list.
Alright, yeah.
What's that, Brian?
All the
All the
dance stuff could be
dance
on today. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys have a host of, I guess, all the related documents that we've been updating. And then there's LOTs to get those submitted to FERC. So I'll just kind of run through, each of them. The first one we have is and I did send over draft copies,
if folks want to take a look at it, I have hard copies too, but we have the 2024 DSSMR, so that's the dam safety acronyms. You're gonna have dam safety surveillance and monitoring report. So every year, we have to do, a DSSMR report on what was done for 24. So if there is any, what was done for monitoring, so like twice a year, you have a surveyor that goes and checks those survey pins. We check to see if there's movement, if there's been any safety related issues, like we had that drop in or the alarms go off. So we report all that info in here, and if there's been any updates to that.
I see on some of that, Jeremiah, they were, when the question some of them police calls, Jackie and I talked about when they're up from the dam, but it's something to do, like if somebody with water or something, that we put all that, right? Any.
Only if it's related to the dam in some aspect. So like.
So you don't have to round the lake and that, you don't have to do none of that?
No, not unless somebody's calling for something related to like water levels or reservoir levels or something. But if there's an emergency on the like boat accident or something like that, you know. Yeah, it's just related to safety related to the dam or reservoir. So yeah, that's just kind of an observation findings, that we submit every year. The other one is,
I wanna, oops, I haven't butt into.
Oh, yeah.
If any chief wonder, we wanna make a motion on the cartoon.
Up to you.
All, just do it all, and when we're done on ivory hollow leather instead of just one.
That works for the few.
Guys, the other one is, the DSSMP, so that is supports the DSSMR, and that's just a dam safety surveillance monitoring plan. So that's basically, we don't have to update that all the time because typically your safety and surveillance monitoring plan is the same. But we did an update to that because we changed the survey monument procedures last year. Because what we had found is, well, one of the control points, so there's 4 control points on the top of the MSE wall on the dam. Those big caps, there's a little point in one of the screw heads on each one of those. And so Hans, when he surveys, he goes and sets up out to the west along the road, and then he just sites along that. He uses the control point closest, so that would be on the west side of the dam, that first cap, to rotate everything about. And then control point 4, so that's on the east side of the spill, that next one. Had been moving out of berg tolerance, so that's 0.04 feet in any direction, elevation or horizontal. So we had moved out of direction, and so when we had that blip in the data collector through the gauge station there, and then the siren kicked on, Justin and I ran out, and then Hans actually met us out on site because we wanted to make sure that nothing had changed. And what we were finding, so he was rotating all of his points about that one control point. So that one control point essentially was never moving, right? Because he was always using that as a set, to turn it. So what we had him do is establish control points off of the reservoir. So there's one up on the east side of the hill, right by the power pole. There's one on the north hill outside of the embankment cut, and then he's looking back at the dam. So that we can actually start tracking how those are moving all independent of each other. So we'll continue, the plan still is to have him go out there twice a year and continue to survey those. But now we kind of have better baseline for that setup. So that one got updated in the plan. That's it there. Your other one is your ODSP. So your owner's dam safety program. That one, all we did is update contact information. your revision log, there's, critical energy infrastructure information references in there. And then project names and safety related issues. So this was a FERC comment that we needed to get the ODSP updated, based on past review of that document. So, there's just been, it's basically just, kind of updates to the overall process. That one. The operations and maintenance manual. So that one has not been updated for quite a while, so we did an update to that. Again, looking at the survey procedures, how we have not a new practice, but I guess relatively new on the procedures for reading those piezometers. Because there was some variability on the readings that we found. So we've updated and worked with the dam tender on how to report that information, so we have the same baseline reporting as piezometers. And then on the inspection that FERC had done last August, or June, I guess it was, when they were out there, there was some concern about deflection of that MSC wall, so that section there. And so, we just updated kind of the monitoring procedures, which is essentially just survey. And those survey points are within that, so we'll just continue to keep an eye on those points. And if the one does continue to trend out, we may have some movement that needs to be dealt with. Right now, it's, the max it's moved is 0.06 of an inch, so I mean, barely anything, but we also have a 10-foot MSE wall on top of the dam that we want to make sure is. So, operations and maintenance manual updated. Your emergency action plan has also been updated based on FERC comments and using their chapter 6 guidelines. Now, we don't exactly follow every step of their chapter 6 guidelines. We've kind of established that when we first did the EAB. You guys have your own way that the sheriff and DES like to work with their red and yellow call systems. And iPods and things.
They've gone over and been changing numbers and stuff. Yeah, I like how to do a number and a couple of.
So yeah, we went through and it's largely just trying to update what we can in chapter 6 and then updating all the call information. So that way we have all the latest contact. So this document, ultimately, you'll need the letter of transmittal to send back to FERC. But once we get comments on FERC, it will need to be approved by the commission. And then the copies will need to be distributed to the list of plans. Because everybody will need to have the latest.
Not signed until FERC gives approval.
Yeah, because there's, they may, who knows when they come back, right? At some point in time. I would say this copy is ready for distribution and
There's been a lot of work on that one.
Yeah, but because we had received past FERC comments, we want to make sure that they are accepted everything before it's officially signed off. Because it doesn't have to be done every year. You do, Jackie does an EAP status update at the end of the year, every year, but this document doesn't necessarily have to be updated unless you have major changes. We got to the point where we had enough comments over the last 2 years, had enough turnover. I mean, we still had the old dam tender. We had a lot of changeover in even FERC staff to contact report that we just went ahead and updated. And then, this one is, STI documents. So this is supporting technical information. That's what the STI is. As you do new plans, so kind of what this is your Part 12D inspection that's done. This is all, everything that's been done on the dam. gets attached to that document. So the consultant reviews all that information, and then they, utilize that as part of the inspection procedures. So, it should be updated periodically. We decided to do it now because the PGA analysis, so that earthquake analysis that was completed, was complete on the dam. We changed the survey procedures. We needed to update the odometer monitoring. So we went ahead and just did an update to those applicable sections of the SCI. So there's nothing new. It's just basically a snapshot of all the documents that you had getting those up to date. Your, the consultant, whoever does the comprehensive assessment, so your Part 12D on steroids, basically, will utilize the STI, all the STI documents. That's part of that. And then the last one is the public safety plan. So that one we had done, Ed and Jackie, Miranda took a shot at that, and Billy actually got started last fall. And it's basically just like your signs and how things are safe up at the dam, and the gates and the chain link and fencing and stuff like that. There was some deficiencies that FERC noted, so we essentially just did some updates to the language on how to. So those are all the updates to documents. So that should, I mean, pending FERC approval, that's pretty much out of your last Part 12D. That's like all the outstanding documentation.
So those go to votes, huh?
Yeah, the LOTs will get submitted with these. We do on all these FERC submittals, we do a separate LOT because when you e-file these to FERC, these are all type CE2, so context sensitive information, because there is procedures and practices in here that is not available for the public. So the LOT is the public transmittal, and then these are classified documents, so not everybody can review those things.
Okay, well, I guess I'd entertain a motion on all that, to accept it and move ahead.
So you're submitting all those when, right now, with that?
Yes.
And that submits everything that you just
Yep.
explained to us. And that's kind of takes care of that 12 thing.
If you have another one coming up,
Yeah, we
the
have,
comprehensive assessment, this finishes up the
Yes.
last one.
yeah.
It
So this-
never ends.
Yeah,
Don't, just never stops.
yeah.
No.
It's not going to, it's gonna get worse.
Unfortunately, probably yes, because this comprehensive assessment is your Part 12D even further. And so I don't know what they're gonna root out of that. I mean, the county's done a really good job of keeping the dam up to date, and you guys have done a lot of
Yeah.
improvements. We still hopefully get some funding, and we have that lower spillway slab and things we need to take care of, but some minor work there. Outside of that, we're kind of get caught up again, just about the time to do this big assessment. What are they gonna find? I don't know. Hopefully not anything, but the further you dig, the more stuff you can find, right? I mean, that's typically.
Well, this one they're putting divers in.
And squirrel was out there.
Maritime
And the
activity.
pit,
I don't know
What's
what
that,
you
Paul?
asked.
They're putting divers, right? Is that what the Schedule D is or whatever?
The Part 12D, they don't, no. For this comprehensive assessment, they will probably want to take a look at those conduits. So the project that you guys were trying to get the renewable resource grant funding for was to actually investigate the thickness of the conduits upstream, because there's from the valves in the middle of the dam, there's no control upstream. The county did purchase a blind flange when we did that gate valve repair. So we can we could put that on to stop water going in there, but you would have to take a valve out. So what the plan is to actually use divers and, remote, they have some,
I thought we were putting pigs in there.
no, you guys actually did a blind flange, so not a pig.
No, it's called a pig. I didn't mean it was called.
Yeah.
You just submerge one and.
That's free.
So they have, some, steel thickness, gauges that they can actually, divers would, because it's all submerged in the wet, they would, run it down there and then we can check the thickness of that steel. So that would be part of it. The comprehensive assessment, I don't think that they will get into the conduits like that. I think they'll use the STI information and everything else we have to look at that. But they do, as part of the Part 12D inspection, they do a potential failure mode, so they look at all the potential failures. You basically do that all over again. Look at any scenarios where you could have a failure, look at the public safety plans, all that stuff. I don't know what the outcome is, but this is newer requirements for, I mean, it's always been, you do a Part 12D, which is a physical inspection exam every 5 years. And then annually you do just a kind of a walkthrough inspection. And there's always something that comes out of it. And this one they dive deeper. So with that, I guess you know.
I have a second.
Second.
Public comment.
So we get a first.
We had a motion.
Well, that's you, because I said, well, yeah, accept all these one time.
So I do a motion to approve all the documents with the submittal letters.
Motion to accept all documents with the middle letters.
I'll second it.
Public comment. Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Copies of these, huh?
Yeah, just.
No, I can suppose.
The only other thing I had on the dam is I did the request for proposals for this comprehensive assessment. You have to hire, they call it an independent consultant, but it's somebody qualified to be able to perform those. It's, just so you know, it's not gonna be cheap. These are gonna be, it's gonna be an expensive assessment. I have no idea what that price is gonna be. But it's not gonna be a cheap.
I don't know how the hell we're gonna keep going and running. I mean, they just keep adding more, just because they messed up down in California where all that paid.
Yep.
It's just not fair for small outfits, but they're breaking us.
Well,
Regulations.
Yeah, I mean, the spillway after Orville, they're just like, if you have a concrete spillway, you need to do an inspection. They didn't say anything why or anything behind it.
But I mean, it's just, we try to keep up with everything, but they just keep coming back. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, and you get hit completely.
So this is kind of standard language based on MCA for professional services. I don't want to do some copy of that, but
That's kind of the same we had, wasn't it? We talked about before.
yeah, we did the same thing similar for the PGA. We got nobody, and then we had to essentially, have HDR. We finally got them to agree to do it. I know HDR has the capabilities of doing this as well, but because of the fee that are public advertised, and then select a qualified consultant and then decide,
When's that one come up in? I see you're looking there, Blaine.
Oh, so it'd be published in the newspaper on April 17th and May 1st. And all responses should be received by 11 a.m. on May 13th. which is, Tuesday, so then you'd have it,
Yeah, on a Tuesday.
yeah, that could be actually like 9.
Yeah, I just highlighted those, I just kind of select some dates,
Yeah.
assuming that you wanted to move forward, we could get it to the
Don't have a
paper.
choice, so we gotta start
Yeah.
trying to figure out where to get them.
I'd probably say 9 AM on a Tuesday, so then you have them ready to go, and, yeah, but it's up to you guys, May 13th, sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, at least we'll move ahead and. Like, damn, I just don't know how we're gonna keep going, I just really don't.
We're gonna do 9 AM, but the 13th.
All
Yeah.
the regulations, I mean, like telling us how much water we keep, we can't let it out when we're supposed to be making money, and they won't let us, it just never ends. Wish somebody would buy it.
It could be on the,
That's our next for quarterly call.
oh,
It's the 13th, I mean.
so, like, before it, only need like, what, 15
We
minutes
just have
probably,
look to see who, yeah.
yeah, for,
Yeah, you're not gonna make a motion, at that time to hire anybody, because you'll just have the proposals due, and you can see read out who you got them from.
Just
But-
to get and see if anybody's interested.
anybody's interested. And then, what I would recommend is, before you even look at ranking, say we got 4 or 5 proposals, before you even look at ranking them, we should submit the qualifications that they submitted to FERC to see if they are in fact actually eligible to do the work. Cause what you don't wanna do is go through this process and then say we're gonna use the firm X. And then FERC says, no, we can't even use them, you kinda wasted your
We need
time.
to start
Let's-
over.
That's what-
Here's our proposals, here's the firms we're considering, are they eligible? And then when they come back, then we.
That's what we had to do the last time, cause then, we didn't know if they were gonna approve them or not, we used them time before and they gave us that next one.
Yep.
so probably a motion to do out the request for proposals for the comprehensive assessment. Publish it April 17th and April 24th, right? To be on the agenda for May 13th.
Good job.
How about you guys?
Do I have a second?
Say it again? No, just kidding.
I can.
I second it.
Alright.
Public comment? Being done, all in favor? Thanks.
Okay, I will get that to the paper so it gets published. And I'll also, once it is published, send it out to a pile of firms so we can get some response.
There was, you thought of sending the people that work for Northwestern, or do it for Northwestern Energy, or is that still on the?
Yep, yeah, cause they have to do them for them as well. Like I said, you guys worked with HDR on that PGA analysis. They have qualifications to do it. There's national firms, that's the problem. There's nobody local, I can't do it, I'm not qualified. There's no local small firm that can do it. We're talking the big national dam firms that have that, doctorate that on staff that can do that kind of work, so.
Where's HDR?
They have an office in Bozeman,
Oh, okay.
but they're like 6,000+ firm, and I don't know where their
Okay.
staff comes from, not in state though, they don't have that person here for sure.
When's this inspection due by, was it fiscal year 26 or?
It's due by December 31st, 2026, the final report. So kind of the thought with starting now is this firm, whoever you hire, can go do the inspections maybe, this fall timeframe. And then they essentially have about a year to go through everything and get this report. We have time to review what they put together and
Thing, they're gonna show up and then we're gonna have to make sure and put that in there, that, get. Cause they're coming to look at it again, so.
there is, related to this comprehensive assessment, The DNRC has a reclamation development grant program, planning grant. That this project is eligible, that comprehensive assessment is eligible. for
How much is it?
application. You can get up to $75,000. So it would be, something. It doesn't hurt to apply.
We better apply.
Did the, last week, didn't the guy from DNRC said there was other, when he was talking about, or a couple weeks ago, whenever they're doing the fire plan or whatever,
Yeah.
didn't he say there was? I think he might have mentioned this one, didn't he?
Yeah, I mentioned one on, equipment.
Yeah.
You ever see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just equipment and removing stuff up there around the houses.
Right.
This one here, I think we got it once, didn't we, or did we apply?
We have not applied for the reclamation development program, but we have applied for a renewable resource grant.
Oh,
So you guys have gotten a pile of planning and construction funds. Right now, we're trying to get that $125,000 construction, which the latest Senate approved amendments in House Bill 6 has funding back to Granite County, and so
Does that pass the house?
it passed the House, yeah, it's on, out in the Senate.
For
Second,
on?
the latest, so that at the second reading, they issued amendments in the Senate to the bill to fund essentially all of the projects, and you guys are back on.
Who in the Senate moved to approve it?
I don't
I don't know, I'll have to look that up.
yeah, look that up, that'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
I can't keep every time there's a.
Make sure it's fair.
Maybe it's your
So yes, you've used that, pretty much every cycle we've been able to utilize.
So is that the one where we didn't have to have a match? So we didn't have a match?
The offer, I testified and offered the match, didn't get amended in
Just
the
like if you
committee.
don't,
This is the one that started the whole
yeah.
ball rolling off the mountain, right?
So now if you don't go to the committee meeting, you don't get any. I'm still on the committee meeting and you don't make.
Show up and
committee-
testify.
Yeah.
You gotta show up and
Sure.
testify.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones that didn't got axed. Even though there is no grant, no match requirement, apparently they want a match associated with it. So the reclamation development grant, dams are a component of that. And you can get up to 75,000 in planning money, which we would say we need to do this. And you have plenty of match, because I don't know what this fee, the comprehensive assessment could be 150, 200,000, I don't know. So you have at least half or more of match that you're gonna have to pay for still. So, I don't know their appetite to fund something like this, but it's eligible. You need money, so.
You'll put that in for us,
As
and
we can.
I do a motion on that too.
now we can say we're doing it.
A motion to allow Great West to
Yes.
To
The
apply
grant
for,
that you're just talking
apply for
about.
that, and he'd come back, you'd have, come back and have it before the commission sign, or?
Yeah, I think, I believe they're due. Yeah.
And, so, have Great West apply for it, county pay for them for doing the application, and they bring it back to the county for final approval.
for a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second to.
Public comment? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry five.
So we can shoot for the 22nd of April.
Out on the
Have it
agenda,
on the agenda.
the
and then
application.
You guys would have a draft application and signature page and things that you can review and then we'll get it by the end of that.
May 13th for the proposal, so.
Getting lots done.
It's been a long.
Okay, that's all the dam related stuff. So I'll get all these e-filed. I will get the
Thanks.
notification on the paper and we will get rolling on grants. I did send over to Miranda the bridge summary, so I don't know, at some point in time, and maybe I come back on the 22nd since we got.
Yeah, and then, cause it's on there and then, yeah, we better do it that
Separate
way.
item for bridge.
Otherwise, it'll be, well, it wasn't on the agenda.
Yep. Should we put the concrete repair for
I
that
think we
bridge?
need to hear on that, cause we're getting quite a few comments on it, so.
On the, you're talking about the, over the carport, South Main. Yeah, have that on again, 22nd.
Can we
Or do
talk
you wanna
about
Or
it
now,
You think it'd be a problem to talk about it now, but if we need
yeah,
to get moved.
bring it up to you, and then if you're making decisions, you can have it on the agenda.
We just need to
Yeah.
move ahead on it, just cause we're,
Yeah.
we've been asking about it, so I didn't. Does it have to be on the agenda?
Well, if you're, talking about putting out for, like the bid, or.
I have it, it's just draft ready to go, so, I can just kind of.
I think you guys already actually approved going out to,
We
yeah, you already approved it. so-
Yeah, we already approved everything, and that's why we had them, gave them permission to go ahead and.
Yeah, so
send the
you
bids
approved it, right?
out, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're talking.
Okay, so we have the concrete rail repair, package ready to go. I don't know, we can advertise this, it should be obviously way under $80,000. I'm assuming 25, maybe 30,000 or so. Pretty easy work, but just trying to get somebody even to show up to be able to do it. There's gonna be a fee marked out in there.
Like you said, then once you get in there, you're not quite sure what it is, that.
So we will, I'll just have bids received to Great West locally, and then we will send those to the county and make a recommendation for award when we get to that point, if that works for you.
Well, that'll work, but then we can put it on, we can go in, but then we can put it on the agenda, we can make the decision that we go
Yeah.
ahead on your recommendation, this guy.
So wait on the date for that until you know more here, or do you want a date?
No, so because it's under 80,000 for construction, but over 5,000, we just need to solicit 3 contractors.
Yeah.
We don't even need to give them the 2 weeks, but I'll give them a couple of weeks of time. So, I don't know that we can go to begin with.
The other reason why I'm kind of pushing on it, cause we're starting to come in the spring, and people are gonna get busy, we ain't gonna find them.
Yeah,
Maybe a guy can get a small job, somebody come in and get it done before they start a big job, that's the only reason I.
Yeah, on their way through
Yeah.
or something.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's, so we kind of set it up, we've given them 30 calendar days. But we just said substantially complete by December 1. It's such a small job that I think it's gonna be some contractor going through or passing through. They have a little delay in schedule, and so if we really hold their feet to the fire, you're gonna pay a lot, but if we will allow some flexibility, I think somebody will mow in and they'll knock this thing out in a week.
That's all.
They help.
You're thinking in the 30, did you say
30 days,
But
Oh,
what was
time.
the amount?
yeah,
You don't know.
25, 30,000,
Well,
somewhere in
it's gonna
there.
take a little bit, I mean,
Yeah.
Guy's gonna have to, that's something pretty serious.
Yep.
Somebody else hits it and it's not fixed right.
And there's no companies that do this locally, right? Like they're all gonna be out of state.
No, there's a
Oh,
lot,
there's-
yeah.
I've had a couple guys ask
Oh,
about
okay.
it, so that's why I'm kind of pushing, if we
Yeah.
get it done, we need to get it done.
Like local guys? Yeah.
If you have the info, I'll have a final package with the date, I mean, you can share it to anybody.
I'll have them call you and,
Yeah, that can be put on the website.
What's that?
That can be put on the website.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we'll just finalize it, I'll put a stamp on it, and then, with the dates when I want bids come back, and then it should be pretty straightforward. The, kind of the plan, and I had talked about this last time, but we'll essentially take that rail post out and the curb section, not completely sock that though. They'll have to actually hydrojet or chip that concrete off of it, exposing the reinforcing, so that's gonna be the time consuming part. Cause they have to, luckily, we're not over the bridge, but they're gonna have to also contain that dust, so it doesn't get down in the, along the banks and things. They'll expose the reinforcing, we'll make a trip over to see how that is anchored in. If they need to do some additional anchors, we'll add that at the time. And then they'll form it back up and pour it. It's like a, you know, a yard of concrete. It's an expensive yard of concrete.
I wonder where they'd be bringing more of a person who couldn't, like out at the county shop, if the guys set up somewhere where they could dump a folk, you know, just. So just bring a yard. I guess you can't really use it for 2 jobs.
Yeah, there's, I mean, it's gonna be, quite a bit, unless somebody decides to just batch it with a 1 cubic yard mixer on site. I mean, they have the option.
I guess that's what they're.
Plus the minimum was usually 3 yards, isn't it?
That's
They're
what I
gonna-
thought if they could bring a little bit more, maybe they could have a spot like where they could out, like right behind the house that we rent, make a little spot to the south there where they could wash stuff off, so having all that mud, you know, right there. I don't think it's just.
If it's something you guys, when we get a contractor on board, we can see what their minimum order is. Cause yeah, I mean, they could probably get 3 yards a minimum, and then they're gonna pay for that, and, which means you're gonna pay for it, and they're gonna take it back to the yard and waste it, which means you're paying.
That's what I
If you had a
Right.
spot, we could probably negotiate with the contractor and say, you know, throw it over here. Any extra you have or something like that.
It'd be nice to have a little spot there, you know, so them all working in the mud like that.
Because it is county project, they do have to meet prevailing wages. They'll have to have bonds and insurance, of course, so those are the little things that add up to the project overall. They'll have to have, traffic control, single lane traffic, unless they, you know, need to close it down, we can allow closure for a period of time, because there is a route around, but, we'll just have them keep a lane open.
You see the performance bond if it's over 50, or is it just, it's gonna require performance bond?
It will require it.
Oh, good.
Actually, because it's under 80, we don't require, performance bond. They just have to have,
That's good,
Interest,
cause
yeah.
that's
That
a
is
cost.
really
they do have to have, $2 million in, you know, liability
Yeah.
insurance, essentially.
Good, alright.
Which is, I guess, worst case, it's about what that bridge cost. I don't know how they would do damage to it, but no. Okay, so I will, put a date in there when we want those received. I will get the county a final package for this, and then, yeah, any contractors that are interested, share that with them. And we'll get bids back.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and then I will be back on the 22nd, to go through the.
You ain't be back?
Grant.
Come on.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, when you come in.
George Island, where you going to from now until then?
There's a
Invoice.
lot of untamed islands to see.
Yeah, I might
You're
see
gonna
back.
get
There's still 2 more islands. Okay, anything else
Thanks,
for me?
no, thanks, good job, appreciate everything.
Yep.
I don't know, do you guys think of anything else? There's something I thought we was gonna have them do, but if you're gonna go ahead and after them grants, we just, I guess every little grant we see coming up or something, boy, we gotta try to survive this, I don't know if there's bigger ones we can go, I don't know, just.
I think as things come up like this, I mean, if we can get a $75,000 grant, that helps. We've been using RRG, we just got a we gotta think grants, you know, because the revenue is not enough to pay for
Keep
the
up, yeah.
Well, Missoula County talked about going to some grant funding with them for bridges, I think. Well,
I
that's
never
still-
ever heard back from them, remember that guy
Yeah.
I got on that committee, I never got
What
one.
was his name, Shane?
Yeah, Shane Stagg.
I never got nothing, I haven't ever talked to him again, that, like, you can't get a hold of him, so I don't.
Well-
Maybe it is all,
When I come back, on the 22nd, I do have the bridge list and we can kind of go through those and.
can we keep that, just kind of look it over?
Yep.
If it- I guess we don't-
That's kind of the.
You wanna take a copy of it?
No, that's fine. And I had sent it to her, I think she has a copy of that Excel sheet.
On computer.
It's, that one, it's time, like, we'll talk, when I come back about planning grant and kind of going through the bridges and stuff again. See what we want to do there, because there is some opportunity for those. Maybe.
Yeah, we keep that. Go over it too, because that's where some of that, you know, we were talking about, trying to fix a couple bridges and lay stuff down and.
Okay, I will get out of your hair.
Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, yeah.
Harry really got to give you shit.
Yeah, Paul took over, Paul's the new one. They used to do Scott.
And disappointed.
You can come up with something for this one second.
Why would See ya.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I do it all. These are good guys.
Yeah.
They do a lot for us. They do.
His office out in Missoula.
Huh?
They have Missoula's office or
Helena.
Helena?
His boss is really cool too, Lloyd. He's funny. They got a good bunch of guys. Oh, we got a lot of work coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary. It makes me sick to my stomach that this dam's gonna kill us. It's gonna break us. We keep getting the grant, but it seems like we get 75 and this other thing's 300,000. You know, these studies, like that earthquake study, they threw that in. There's a book with 100 grand, whatever. And it just never ends.
Said sell it, give it away.
We tried, we can't, yeah, there's a couple people who were interested. We're talking $1.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the ranchers would bail in there, but then just the fighting with the, yeah. Just too many people got their hands involved in the regulations, you can't do nothing.
Yeah. Too many people to please.
The reservoir up there, just, I don't know, and we're gonna start getting calls, because it's coming up, and the landowners, oh, it's up here, it's flooding this, and, but yet we got, all the agencies down, no, can't let no more out, so why don't they go after them?
Was your motion today, keep it 20 or what?
Yeah.
Keep it the same.
Not quite a little snowstorm blew through here. You couldn't
I didn't
see
see
it.
it.
Look at that out
Yeah,
there.
by the time I looked over there, I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's seeing some, I don't see any snow.
Other than that, you got anything, updates or anything, Blaine? I don't think of nothing else.
Well, it's good on the House Bill 6, so. it's good
Yeah.
news.
That's big, that's good.
Well, by the time we look at it, we might be back off.
Yeah, so,
You know,
it's,
right.
I'll see who,
Yeah, I wonder who that
senator
senator
was,
That'd be interesting.
yeah. I'll look at it, probably know. Cool. Going upstairs, need my help with the interviews. I keep them open unless you start talking about private stuff, and you close unless they waive the right to privacy.
So keep it on Zoom too.
It don't have to be on
yeah.
Zoom, not when.
Yeah, I just need it open in here.
To the public in here.
But turn off all of this.
Yeah.
Your guys call them there, yeah.
I take them off of Zoom, just keep it open in the public here.
Then do I officially, I recuse myself, get up and walk out?
Yep,
You
get out.
know.
like right now?
No, Casey, I think that's something before we do this stuff, there was something, oh, you're going down to the house to have them look at it to clean?
Yep, I'm meeting the cleaning lady. She just wrote me now.
So somebody rented yet, or?
No, it's not been cleaned.
You're gonna go look at it.
I'm meeting the cleaning lady at
It's
3:15.
probably gotta be advertised though. So that was.
Yeah, once they get it clean and then get everything swamped out or whatever, she'll
To rent
come
it?
back and maybe we'll put it on the agenda for next week and see when she, if she
Yeah.
get at it right away, it'd be nice. We gotta get it rented. It's just,
We only
otherwise
have
it's tear
to
it down.
Okay.
Make a wash bay.
So what's the rent? Still 800 with the deposit?
800, and then we got all the regulations, no pets, no kids.
And
Just don't
then
like kids.
what was the deposit? 500?
500, can't have, well, I
Yeah, it
think
was a safety issue with the trucks coming out.
Oh.
Something that's considered, but yeah, that's probably.
yeah, it's not the best place to have people in. That's the whole thing, just cause of equipment come through there and they cut out a bunch of the trees, you can see better,
Yeah.
what's in Jason and Sarah, they did a good job, got.
Yeah, the plumbing's done and the electrical?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They used to
Yeah, I
tear it
think it
down.
just
but
needs
it's just such a
cleaned.
pain
Well, now we've
now.
got it fixed up,
Mhm.
finally.
Yeah,
Raise it to 1,200. No, just kidding.
digging,
I'm
deputies that
kidding.
apply that can't find places to live, so, yeah. That's it.
One bedroom or two bedroom?
Two.
True. It's not that bad. but
Yeah,
it's
Pretty
just-
small though, isn't it?
Yeah. When you get in there, it ain't so bad. no.
Yeah, 800.
Yeah,
That's
no,
perfect.
there's no garage, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. It just stops away, but Sarah and Jason, they made a park on the other side, the south side of it, just because they had the ambulance there. It worked out all right. We just, crews gotta work together, just.
And no chickens either?
No.
There was a problem with cats there back in the day.
Oh, there's a lot of cats
Yeah,
over there
wild
in those
cats.
houses.
Yeah,
Is there still?
No, there's 3 or 4 around that, one of the road crew guys, I said, we'll set the traps. You don't want them, get rid of them.
How many did they fix and release?
100
100
or more.
there were a lot.
It was just that.
He was feeding them,
was
right?
in the cat duty and every day, and then you'd have 4 or 5 every day.
And you had them in the house.
Should have took them down and put them in Slaughter's garage. I hope he's listening.
I guarantee he's not listening.
God, that'd be funny if he called. I didn't want it, I'm gonna take care of him, you just take off and leave. Thanks.
Yeah, that's yeah, you know.
Have a good day.
Okay,
Don't forget to make your date for roads.
what's
Yeah.
that?
Don't forget to make your date for the roads.
Oh, yeah, right. He's gonna make it.
No, you do it.
Juan's gonna make it?
I think it's just best that you do it, cause then it gets done, cause otherwise you're gonna, well, I gotta
Cause
go
you'll
here.
cancel me out again.
No, this has to be done.
Yeah, I don't, I know what I was gonna do. I was gonna get one of those atlases.
Just call him and tell him, it's supposed to be nice, or even like next week, it's supposed to be nice or whatever. It's gonna go up in this crap and then. Yeah, I just,
Next
make
week
sure you
sometime.
call,
Okay.
yeah,
I will do that. All right.
Bye.
thank you.
No, thank you.
So can we go off for a little bit, please?
Yep.
Now, did our interviews and gonna entertain a motion to go ahead and put it out to the public and keep the ones that we have in the pool and move ahead. Would that be the best way to have it?
Yeah, and you'll, let them know that, and then a letter to them, okay.
Motion to send a letter to keep the 2 applicants in the pool and then open up the job to the public.
Exactly.
Can I get a vote?
I'll second it. Any public comment on that? Being none, all in favor? Aye. And thanks, Wayne, and I wanted them to know that you weren't on, you were just in here.
Yeah, I was on the, was asking questions, but I didn't have a say in the.
I just wanna make sure that gets out, but you're not part of the thing, you know.
Didn't have a go on the vote, yeah.
All right, on that motion, I guess we'll go ahead and adjourn. Thanks Miranda, good job everybody, good day. Lots of stuff today, and damn, we're gonna be a pain.